hike in jet fuel is coming after 2 rounds of price cuts that happened earlier this year.
जी देखिए, ये जो हवाई ईंधन के दामों में बढ़ोतरी हुई है उसका जो सीधा सा असर ये है कि जो अब एयरलाइंस की जो टिकट हैं वो महंगी हो जाएंगी। उसका जो सबसे प्रमुख वजह ये है बताई जा रही है कि जो इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में जो कच्चे तेल के दाम है उसमें लगातार जो है उतार चढ़ाव देखा जा रहा है, और जो रुपए और डॉलर की जो कीमतें हैं उसमें जो अंतर आया है उसकी वजह से ये पूरा जो है जो ATF के जो दाम है वो लगातार बढ़ रहे हैं, और इसका जो सीधा सा असर है वो जो है एयरलाइंस की टिकटों में पड़ेगा। पिछले महीने आपको याद होगा कि पिछले महीने करीब 2950 रुपए प्रति लीटर जो है तेल के जो दाम थे उसमें बढ़ोतरी हुई थी, और लगातार ये दूसरा महीना है जब जो है हवाई ईंधन के दामों में बढ़ोतरी हुई है और करीब 1318 रुपए 12 पैसे की जो बढ़ोतरी हुई है, और ये जो दरें हैं वो आज से 1 दिसंबर से लागू की गई हैं।
Thank you, Palla, for joining us and bringing us those details. We'll continue tracking these stories for you. For now, a short break.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps.
And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents NDTV Indian of the Year, powered by Raymond, co-powered by Gallant. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
Now, a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your lives.
News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
To the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here. It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
First, opening down the comments to each one of you. Starting to you, Sharbani, on the topic content going abroad, Indian content soaring, and Indian cinema taking the flights. Yeah, that's the size.
So Indian content going abroad, we are still not going abroad, right? I mean, Payal Kapadia is one person who's taking us abroad. But yeah, so I mean, once in a while we hear the nominated film from India, which is possibly Lapata Ladies. Last year it was the last show, which we talk about, which is going abroad, right? Shaunak possibly wins or wins documentary wins Sundance, or Shruti Talati's has won for Girls Will Be Girls. But really mainstream Indian cinema is not going abroad, is not crossing over. You have B.H. Shekhar before this, Shekhar Kapoor before this, and Mr. Kapoor is possibly one person who has made that transition, right? I mean, and I think that a lot, Ritesh Batra made it with Lunchbox. Irfan actually is really Irfan Khan, who I had the wonderful pleasure of working with in D-Day, is that one actor who basically just, he transitioned, right? But are we going abroad? No, we aren't. We still aren't. So, I mean, we have to. It's very important that we have to, because literally, otherwise being very myopic, in my opinion.
Sir, you're Hirani.
Don't they speak about the same thing or something?
I mean, you're opening gaps on the entire issue.
I kind of agree with my dear friend Nikhil over here. But more than anything else, I think it's important that the industry doesn't need to go abroad. It needs to be that the industry over here should grow in such a way that it should be the focus of abroad, rather than us going and exporting actors or exporting directors abroad. Why is it that our industry should not be in a position for people to say, well, we should be keeping an eye on Indian cinema big time, like Korean cinema, Iranian cinema. I think that's what should be the objective. Yeah. And so the next question is, how does one do that? My solution is a long-term solution. Maybe it's not even a solution. And I think that it all boils down to the power of the writer. We don't pay enough attention, or rather, let me be a little more bold and say we don't pay the writer.
That's a very interesting point you make. I'm sorry to interject, but I was interviewing Salim Javed recently, and Mr. Salim had this specific point to make again and again that we're not having good plots. That's because we don't value the story enough.
We don't value the storyteller enough.
Almost.
The story is fine. We don't value the storyteller enough. On the in the same token, I think the storyteller should work hard enough to be valued also. You can't say I'm a storyteller, I'm not getting enough respect and enough money. You've got to be worthy of that respect and money. I'm happy to say last night in Mumbai, I was hoping that we could do something like this over here, maybe next year. My organization, which is a free organization, it's called Spiral Bow. It's for anyone who wants to be a writer joins in, and we've done 758 sessions since the pandemic, which I've conducted myself personally on screenwriting. And yesterday we had a session of 300 students and industry directors and writers who attended. And I flew down Alex Dinelaris, the writer of Birdman, who conducted a 6-hour workshop. And I think that should be encouraged, that should be funded, that should be sponsored. And this is done by us, an organization that spends private funding, no funding, you know what I mean? And I think as long as you don't spawn a generation of writers, you will not have a generation of filmmakers. Simple.
So, to be very honest about all this, we started with Shekhar and we talked about Bandit Queen. It's a film that he and I produced for when he directed. It was conceived of in 1991 and produced in 1992, released in 1994. That's 30 years ago. It's not yesterday. So the last time a film we discussing traveled was there. So no, we haven't crossed over. We haven't actually done anything of the sort. Coming to Bhavan, your comment is absolutely right. This is something that I also believe in. I mean, I don't believe that they're going to come here. No one's going to come here and make Indian cinemas. There's lots of us. And I think just as a little interjection, let me tell you, we make just the Hindi film industry, which I know a little more than the rest of it, censors 2,000 films a year. I don't think more than 60 of those ever feel the light of a theater. I don't see more than 10 or 15 making it in the so-called big league. It's enough of a dream to cause another 2,000 people to come and dive into the pool, and maybe 60. So it's not, the Indian cinema market is not a Garden of Eden. That is one point. No, but what you said about what you just did is something that I completely and totally believe. In fact, we've now been doing it for 2 years. I actually have been of our own record and being supported by different governments and associations, been running a program called Stories That Travel. Trying to find local stories which we believe had some potential to cross over and appeal to the rest of the world. We've done workshops in Dubai. We've done 2 workshops in Spain. We did a masterclass here. We're continuing to do that, maybe Australia, Singapore, back in Spain next year, with the hope that, and this year, for example, the program yielded one film which is almost 90% shot. Another one that's going to start next year. And in this process, find 8 or 9 films, more pile of ideas, as it were, that will do it. But otherwise, what Nikhil says is getting selected to be sent for the foreign language Oscar is not a validation of any kind. I've just been on a jury where I viewed 29 films to try to find the one that should have traveled abroad for this. 1 or 2 have made it in the history of the Oscars. Right? The last Indian film that won before Payal's film that won anything at Cannes was a film called Nicha Nagar, which is 1946, before India was independent. Films like Bandit Queen have been to forums like Directors Fortnight or Uncertain Regard, but in the context of 2000 a year or 1500 a year for 50 years, free film is at best an accident, nothing more than that.
I mean, can I ask a question? Sorry. I just want to ask you, when did it become? When?
I think the fashion design. See, firstly, you must remember, and I promise you, I'm not exaggerating this, that if you have a DVD in your bag and you catch a flight to Nice and you book yourself in a hotel in Cannes and you stream that film in the DVD player in your hotel room, you can with great confidence say that your film screened at Cannes. Right. And there is a lot of people, who say this. The red carpet is a place to be photographed. But it doesn't matter.
The thing is that as a young filmmaker, as somebody who grew up in the lap of Sudhir Mishra, it used to be, we will one day be in Cannes, right? You work hard for it. You
should caught a flight.
That's taken a DVD.
What he's saying is that maybe the top body through the merit only. Mr. Navani, now you, Shekhar made a very interesting point there, that 90% of the content that is being viewed in US is probably not through the theatrics, it's through TikTok. In fact, we as the practitioners of news, news is being consumed through TikTok in the United States, Singapore and places like that. No more being consumed through any other platform. So, what do you think, the alternative platforms to the theater? Talking about OTT also, because many people say that even that's going to be still very soon. What are the alternative platforms? How do you view that? And how do you think your Indian content can actually take applied the topic of this in those spheres?
No, absolutely. And thank you. We've quietly over the last decade plus been actually building for that generation, which is the future consumers of both content and commerce. And the ability for really content to drive not only consumption based on interest, but also on action that will come up from that. And that is, a very different way in which today people are driven to make decisions around what they spend on. Right? We always used to believe that, content used to, and I think this point came up on spirituality, organic and all that. So, content that is hitting this generation and the creators of this generation. So when we've looked at content, we've actually looked at it across the spectrum. Of course, theatrical, long form. We've recently co-produced a film with Steven Spielberg's daughter. But because she's a Gen Z creator and a first-time movie creator, her directorial debut, we've been able to bring that in. To your point, Baman, is to influence that thought process on what will a horror film in India look like. It's a horror film. Just to give you an example on how you can look at India also as a market for, that kind of production. But I think more importantly, the forms of content that we see today, beyond OTT, like regional music, for example. I mean, again, young creators, we've created the largest ecosystem in India for, say, Bhojpuri or Haryanvi. Most people wouldn't even know is the fifth most spoken language on YouTube globally. And music is, of course, a great form of content. The shift of content, whether it's short form, it's long form, it's now 30-second stories, and the different ways in narration is happening. I still believe the biggest growth is going to come in interactive content, and video gaming is where we believe we've seen a huge spurt. So when we started, there were less than 80 million, what you call video gamers in India. Today, there's 500 million. Right? We are still less than 1% of a 200 billion global industry, which is much larger than all forms of content put together, and particularly where people are spending time. I think what Shekhar's point was, where is a person spending time, which is enabling them to influence both the entertainment as well as, a large part of the decision making. And where India can export, where we had themes and all, what we've been able to do is, create the world's largest cricket game, simulated cricket. Cricket is now going to the Olympics, cricket is going into, many other areas. And we find that about 500 million consumers who are playing simulated cricket, learning it, the larger opportunity lies in the top form of content. The esports players, today esports is the third most watched form of content, in India. So when we are fighting for mind share, we're fighting for theater movies, we're fighting for short form content, we're fighting for gaming, we're fighting for sports content.
Made in India content.
Sports content is huge content, right? Absolutely true.
My last in the row finalist is actually from Spain, and an independent filmmaker. So she would have her own take on as to what kind of content is making its space, like Ms. Irani mentioned about the Korean content on the global stage and what.
Thank you so much. So, in my case, what we're doing right now, that's why I'm here, that I'm from Spain, from a break, is we're making the first co-production between India and Spain. So, we think, I'm making the co-production with Bobby. I think that, we know that in Spain, we love India. We're similar kind of culture. We love dance, we love music, no? So,
Spicy food.
We love spicy food, no? Yeah. So, and I know that in India, like Spain, no, like Europe. So we are making this first co-production because we want to build that bridge between India and Spain, between India and Europe, between India and South America, with a Spanish-speaking language, because this is a huge market as you are here in Asia. So we believe that the stories that travel, as Bobby mentioned, and we're working on it, they're local stories, but they're based on global themes as emotions, as love, as relationships, as you mentioned. The things that nowadays, thanks to the social media, thanks to the broadcaster, thanks to the platform, we have access to all kind of content. So we're working on that kind of story that they are local, but that can travel. So that's why we're making this first co-production, because you from India, you came many times to shoot in Spain, but we never worked like together in cinema. So we also in Spain, love theater. We like theater movies. We like a different kind of content. So this is, I think, a very important project for you as Indian, for us as Spaniards, because it's the first time that we work together on a global content, but based on India, but based on Spain. So I think the crew here to find the story, the correct story of, as you mentioned, all of you know, that can travel over the world, but it's based on our culture and on the themes that we're all interested on, as music, as you said, as e-games, as sports. So there are many kind of different themes. So that's what we're working on, and I hope this is the first movie of many working between India, Spain, or India, and Europe.
Ladies and gentlemen, my last round of questions to each of them, and then probably you can have a shot. Thank you, Ms. Advani. There's a lot of debate that is going on. I asked Shekhar also that question. I've asked a lot of very senior Bollywood personalities about that, about the corporatization that is hitting the industry. Do you think corporatization, at least, forget about the Indian side of it, at least will help take Indian content? You say, let's say, Irani says they call them movies. Indian movies abroad, will it make it easier? Has it made it easier in going forward, like studios like PIRF, etc.? We have a massive, at least muscle, every kind of muscle, financial muscle, intellectual muscle. Will it make it easier to take the content abroad like that, unlike the struggle of an individual producer? Or it's going to dampen it? What do you?
So I'll just take 2 seconds to just tell you a story of David Fincher. He made a film called Panic Room, and he made a movie called Panic Room, and he made a film called Zodiac. And somebody asked him that how can somebody who make a movie like Panic Room make a film like Zodiac? And he says that's exactly what it is. Panic Room is a movie. The Zodiac is a film. We make films, right? And I think the more we call it content, the more it is we are going down a slippery slope. And that's the first thing that the corporate that we work with. We work with a lot of corporates. I think that the first thing that they are now slowly realizing that it's not content. We are here to make films, right? It's not consumer. It's an audience. That's very important. And the more we forget that, we've already lost the battle, right? We've already lost the battle. Now let's talk about the corporatization. It has to happen. We are being corporatized everywhere, in every sphere, right? Whether it's technology, whether it's housing, whether it is FMCG, everything, right? So why not films?
Whether it's real estate and
Everywhere, right? Everywhere. So I think this is being very lazy for a filmmaker to turn around and say the corporates don't mind, right? When a director would go to say Rajsa or to Yash Chopra or to B.R. Chopra, you had to still explain your vision to them, right? You should make them buy into what it was, right? In the sense, so that's not changed. I don't know. They have better visiting cards, right? I think that's the only thing that's changed. That
what about the resources? An individual producer probably will never have the kind of resources that a studio can muscle up.
Yes, absolutely. And therefore, more and more studios should start backing individual producers. It's very important.
Free run. More corporatization.
Yeah, no harm. No harm. No harm at all. In fact, my script is the movie that is having its Asia premiere tomorrow. It's called The Mehta Boys. It's thanks to the corporate who supported it. And when they said, who are you planning to cast? I said, read the script. And they read the script. Say, now who are you planning to cast? Who's the leading man? I said, the script is the leading man. And I think if you're armed, so what he's saying is wonderful. There are lots of young people out there with great ideas. My point is, it's not about a great idea, because you can forget about the idea in 20 minutes once the film is done 20 minutes. It's about a great screenplay. You can have a great idea and a terrible screenplay. You can have a great concept and you can have a great situation and a terrible. So I'm going back to what I said in the first round, is we talk about, having markets, having an whatever production, traveling. It doesn't matter. You first have to start from ground level up. Train writers, big time. So that DNA is so, the mechanics in the head is so fantastic that they free themselves to let creativity take over. But if the DNA of script writing mechanics is not in place, then you'll have shapeless structure. And that's where films fail, because you're talking about attention, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. We don't care about that attention as long as you can keep them glued to the story, or even 2.5 hours if the structure is good. So we got to teach youngsters structure, theme, story, character, leitmotifs, many things like that. But that seems to be a very thin part of our conversation and narrative.
Mr. Bedi? So this question on corporatization, I have no particular stand on it. No, I advise that what I'm saying is that in the conversations of the producer, it just means being incorporated. All of us are now, as small and big companies. Does it mean more money? The studio system has existed in America now for a few decades. No problem. It is a system, and independent cinema is a system, and independent cinema will find its space. So I don't think we need to worry too much about that. I think all of us try to find money for our films, and what Bowman has said, a lot of what you said just reads so many bells in my head, because at the end of the day, our focus is only on the 100 pages that comes out. Those 100 pages are corporate, those 100 pages are star, those 100 pages are everything. And once they're there, everything else has a good chance of falling into place. It's a good story, it has to be well told. So I don't think either technology or corporatization or anything is going to help make better movies. I think, if we can...
You mean to say that individual creativity will continue to rule supreme?
Has to. Even this previous sessions here about AI. No, AI is regurgitated thought. It's just done far more efficiently, far more speedily. But it's not a substitute for original thought.
Mr. Navani, you are the technology man. Corporates and technology are closely wedded together. I have nothing against either of them. Actually, I'm fine with both of them. But fact is that a lot of people, particularly the seniors in Bollywood, do begrudge that the individual producer has been edged out. They may not begrudge so much that the corporates have taken over, but overarchingly, of the content production, and Nikhil has a very strong dislike for that word. I'll happy continue to do that other than movies. But what's it your for?
No, I think when we talk of corporatization, we talk of new forms of content or whatever platform, new platforms. I think at the core of it, it is about the growth of India and India's impact on the world through its media and entertainment sector. So if we are looking at that very well in KPI, I think its weights has been Bollywood has always been our soft power. Absolutely. So if you see CII has taken a big agenda of what India at 100, when we talk of a 2047 vision, what does media and entertainment look like from India, for India, and for the world? When we take that aspect, I think it's a no-brainer that you'll find a lot more stakeholders coming into this sector. They might come from corporate, they might come from, the creative side. But at the end of the day, as what Nikhil Baman all said, it is empowering that individual idea, the writer, the creative talent.
Anna, last word to the lady.
So, and I completely agree with what they're saying. And this is very, I mean, not explained, but normally when you're on a panel, you have some different opinions. No, but I completely agree with what they're saying because as a producer, and I'm coming from a family that dedicated on cinema and creation, the most important thing, first of all, for any content is the script. It's the idea, first the idea and then the script. And then we can use all the tools that we have nowadays, that like the technology, the ER platforms, etc., etc. But the the most important from the very, very beginning is the script. So I think we have to push to create good scripts, to find good stories, and then we can use all the things that we have nowadays. We have a lot of things, internet, social media, technology, but also, film festivals, markets, and all these kind of things that they're pushing and they're making the ideas big and big and big. But the most important thing is to teach the new generations to write good scripts, to find good stories, to find the story that they can engage with the audience all over the world. And that's, of course, not easy, but I think it is our responsibility and also our goal as a producers and as content creators.
Yeah, I know, right? Very rarely do you find in a large panel so much of unanimity, particularly a large panel of creative people. I hope Nikhil agrees with that. Ladies and gentlemen, with this we come to an end for this panel discussion. You have any questions? Kindly short and crisp.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents NDTV Indian of the Year, powered by Raymond, co-powered by Gallant. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India, beating all its competition. NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
Now a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your lives.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here. It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
तो मैं इस वार्ता के माध्यम से अरविंद केजरीवाल और संजय सिंह दोनों से कहना चाहता हूं, मुलाकात का समय लें, जाएं और उस पीड़ित नरेश बालियन से मिलने एक बार और पूछें कि ये खेल कितने सालों से चल रहा था। ये कोई 1 साल या 6 महीने का खेल नहीं है। 4-5 सालों से ये लगातार खेल चल रहा था। जब नरेश बालियन को लगा कि मेरी कलई खुल सकती है, मेरी बात टेप हो रही है, तो उसने नंबर बदलने शुरू किया। आपने ऑडियो में सुना होगा कि बार बार वो कहता है कि मैं तुम्हें दूसरा नंबर देता हूं। वो नंबर कहाँ है, कौन से हैं वो नंबर, जांच का विषय है, जांच एजेंसी काम कर रही है। वो नंबर कब इश्यू हुए, कौन से साल से हुए, कब से बातचीत हो रही है, ये सब जांच के विषय हैं। और इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूं अरविंद केजरीवाल, हर झूठ की परत खुलेगी जैसे तुम्हारी खुली है, इस झूठ की भी खुलनी है। क्योंकि ये 6 महीने 1 साल का खेल नहीं, ये 4-5 साल पुराना एक्सटॉर्शन रैकेट है, गठजोड़ है भ्रष्टाचार का, जो तुम्हारी सरपरस्ती में दिल्ली में पल रहा था। और ये कहानी एक पे नहीं रुकती है, आने वाले दिनों में और जानकारी आएगी। कल कुछ चीजें हमारे पास और हैं, तो कल मैं अपने साथियों के साथ दिल्ली के पुलिस कमिश्नर से टाइम लेकर उनको एक पत्र देने जा रहा हूं कि इस पूरे मामले की छानबीन की जाए, जिन जिन से पैसे वसूले गए हैं। कुछ नाम तो उन ऑडियो में हैं। अब कुछ पीड़ित खुद संपर्क कर रहे हैं हमसे, वो बता रहे हैं कि हमसे भी किया गया था, हमको भी बाल्यान बुलाता था, हमको भी धमकाता था बाल्यान। तो वो जब पीड़ित अपनी बात जांच एजेंसी के सामने रखेंगे तो वो कट मनी वसूली या एक्सटॉर्शन का पैसा किन किन सीढ़ियों से होकर कहां कहां तक शीश महल तक जाता था, वो हिसाब आएगा सामने। ये दिल्ली की सरकार रंगदारी की सरकार है, ये तो वसूली सरकार है। अब तक हम भ्रष्टाचारी कहते थे, लेकिन ये वसूली और रंगदारी की सरकार है जो अरविंद केजरीवाल तुम्हारे इशारे पे चल रही है, और इसका हिसाब तो तुम्हें देना होगा। और रही बात हमले की, 4 पानी की बूंदों को अगर आप हमला कहते हैं अरविंद केजरीवाल, तो आप समझ लीजिए कि आप किस दुनिया में जी रहे हैं। 10,697 बस मार्शल तुमने निकाले 2023 में साइन करके कि जाओ तुम्हें नौकरी से टर्मिनेट किया जाता है। अशोक झा खानपुर डिपो में बस मार्शल था, एक एक रुपये के लिए तरस रहा था, बार बार आपके यहाँ प्रदर्शन करने आ रहा था, मांग कर रहा था कि बस मार्शल्स को लगाया जाए। और वो अगर गंदा पानी लेकर आपके पास आता है और वो गंदा पानी उछाला जाता है, मैं कह रहा हूँ उछाला जाता है, तो वो आपको एसिड दिखाई देता है। और सही भी है, दिल्ली में पानी एसिड ही है, जहरीला ही है। जिस पानी को पीने से सरकारी अस्पतालों में 21,000 लोग मर जाएं, और मैंने तो उस पानी को खुद भी भोगा है, यमुना के पानी को। तो वो पानी जो जनता पीने के लिए मजबूर है अरविंद केजरीवाल, तो वो तुम्हारे दामन पे छलकता है तो तुम्हें एसिड दिखाई देता है, हमला दिखाई देता है। वारी आम आदमी पार्टी और वारे आम आदमी, 100 रुपए की चप्पल और 2 रुपए का पेन डालने वाले अरविंद केजरीवाल, अब तुम्हें पानी से डर लगता है। अगर उन बस मार्शलों की हाय या उनकी जो पीड़ा है वो आपको समझ में नहीं आती अरविंद केजरीवाल, तो समझ लीजिए कि आपकी संवेदना बिल्कुल खत्म हो गई है। आप इधर उधर की बातें करते हैं। मैं फिर कह रहा हूं, दिवाली गए हुए कितने दिन हो गए, आज भी वो यूनिवर्सिटी की सड़क बनी नहीं है जहां आप जाके मुआयना, पहली सड़क जिसका आपने मुआयना किया था, वो कहाँ गई? वो 89 सड़कें, दिवाली तक पूरी दिल्ली की सड़कें बनाने का वादा किया था, क्यों उसकी बात नहीं करते अरविंद केजरीवाल? गंदे पानी की बात नहीं करते, बिजली के बढ़े हुए बिलों की बात नहीं करते, पूरी दिल्ली कूड़े का कचरा बनी हुई है उसकी बात नहीं करते, कूड़े के पहाड़ की बात नहीं करते, जो 12 कमोड उठा के घर से ले गए, टॉयलेट चोरी करके ले गए, तुम उसकी बात नहीं करते, करोड़ों रुपए के शीश महल की बात नहीं करते, लेकिन हमले की बात करते हो, क्योंकि तुम्हारे पास विषय नहीं है। तुम्हें पता है कि ये सब बातों पर तुम जनता को बार बार नहीं ठग सकते। मैं दिल्ली में आऊंगा तो मैं बिजली के बिल माफ करूंगा, मैं दिल्ली में आऊँगा तो मैं पानी के बिल माफ़ करूँगा। अरे भैया, सरकार तुम्हारी है, मुख्यमंत्री तुम्हारी है, अफसर तुम्हारे हैं, जल बोर्ड तुम्हारा है, डिस्कॉम्स तुम्हारे हैं, आज करो। नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि कमीशन, लूट, चोरी वो चल रही है। तो आज की इस प्रेस वार्ता में अरविंद केजरीवाल, तुम्हारे दोनों दावे, नरेश बालियान वाला भी और हमले वाला भी, ये सिर्फ जुमले हैं जो तुम इधर उधर की बातें करके बहकाना चाहते हो। दिल्ली की जनता जानती है इस बात को कि आपका राजनीतिक नौटंकी का सफ़र अब समाप्ति की ओर है। फिर कह रहा हूँ, वीरेंद्र सचदेवा के वीडियो एडिट करने से काम नहीं चलेगा। आम आदमी पार्टी वालों, अरविंद केजरीवाल की ज़मीन खिसक चुकी है, एहसास हो चुका है, इसलिए घबराहट है। और उस घबराहट में ऐसे हमले ये बार बार अपने ऊपर करवाने की कोशिश करेंगे, जिसकी घोषणा मैंने पहले भी की थी 3 महीने पहले। ये नौटंकी अभी अगले 60-70 दिन लगातार चलेगी और आप दिल्ली वालों को एक फ्री का मनोरंजन, ये फ्री का मनोरंजन आपको देखने को मिलेगा। और बेहतर होता जब आप आज नरेश बालियान पे बोल रहे थे तो 2 शब्द नरेश यादव पे बोल देते, जिसे 2 साल की सजा सुनाई है कोर्ट ने, वो भी आम आदमी पार्टी का विधायक है। एक बार ताहिर हुसैन को याद कर लेते, जिसने पूरी दिल्ली को दंगे में धकेलने का काम किया था। या जो लंबी फहरिस्त आपके नगीनों की आपके पास है, जो अनेक अपराधों में लिप्त हैं, एक आध बार उनका नाम ले लेते। अरविंद केजरीवाल जितने विधायक आपके नहीं, उससे ज़्यादा अपराध हैं आप लोगों के, जो दिल्ली की जनता के सामने हम रखेंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आप बोलिए ना दूसरा इशू में।
जैसा आप लोगों की जानकारी में आ ही चुका है आज सुबह से कि दिल्ली में भारतीय जनता पार्टी इस भ्रष्टाचार के शासन को, इस निष्क्रियता के कुशासन को हटाने के लिए जनता से सीधा संवाद जोड़ने जा रही है। एक नई अनूठी यात्रा, पूरा संगठन मिलके एक साथ। आपने जब भी कोई परिवर्तन की बात सुनी होगी तो ऐसे सुनी होगी कोई एक व्यक्ति उसको लीड कर रहा है, मगर भारतीय जनता पार्टी एक संगठनात्मक पार्टी है और हमारे प्रदेश अध्यक्ष ने एक निर्णय लिया है। मैं चाहूंगा कि वो उस संगठन का क्या निर्णय है, इस परिवर्तन को लाने के लिए हम किस तरह।
As elections near in Delhi, the parties are all gearing up, and now Aam Aadmi Party having hit out against BJP for Naresh Balyan's arrest has also been answered to by the Delhi BJP top brass. Let's go over to Anushka for more on this story. Anushka, you've been covering the Delhi BJP on ground. Tell us a little bit about what is the grouse right now. What is BJP trying to target Kejriwal and his party with?
Well, what we are understanding right now is that, of course, this comes in the backdrop of Aam Aadmi Party MLA Naresh Balyan being arrested after some audio tapes were leaked, and it's of course a constant political tussle in war of words between both the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Aam Aadmi Party, especially looking forward to the Delhi State Assembly elections. Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal had said that he expects from the Home Ministry Minister Amit Shah that this law and order situation in Delhi, which is deteriorating day by day, will be taken stock of, will be looked into and taken action into. And with the backdrop of this, he mentions the incident that happened yesterday, which is where he claims that a spirit-like material, liquid, was thrown into his face when he was carrying out this rally addressing the law and order issues in the capital. And he says that if this is the condition, then how can one expect Delhi or the citizens of Delhi to be safe at this point? So he's urging at this point and directly addressing the Home Minister to take stock of the situation. As an answer to that, as we just heard in the press conference that was held by Delhi BJP, is that they're saying that the Aam Aadmi Party is an extortionist government, and this arrest of Naresh Balyan, who will be produced in court later today, is also something that is akin to the party, as in their extortionist propaganda. And at the same time, what BJP chief out here, Virendra Sachdev, also mentioned is that Arvind Kejriwal has also not taken stock of his own promises with respect to, say, the repair of roads before Diwali, by the time Diwali comes. And he raised a lot of other issues and said that, if these are the concerns, and as Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal claims that Naresh Balyan is a victim, then he should come, then the BJP will come forward and bring out these people who are actually victims of Naresh Balyan, is what the Delhi BJP claims at this point. So a classic war of words between both the national parties at the backdrop of these state assembly elections within just a couple of months at this point.
Naresh Balyan, of course, is an MLA of the Aam Aadmi Party. Arvind Kejriwal has told the BJP that you arrest gangsters if you can. With respect to the arrest of Naresh Balyan, BJP says that AAP is giving space to criminals, and that the fact that Aam Aadmi Party MLA was arrested in an extortion case as elections near, the battle between Aam Aadmi Party and BJP intensifies. Now moving on to another story related to the Delhi elections, Arvind Kejriwal has said that there will be no alliance in Delhi between the AAP and the Congress, which is the India alliance. But Arvind Kejriwal clearly said that there will be no alliance in Delhi. AAP has decided to go solo in Delhi. Remember, they currently have 62 of the 70 seats in the Delhi State Assembly, and it is very important for Mr. Kejriwal to show his strength and to be able to keep the capital. There's of course going to be a very strong fight put up by the state BJP, who are scanning through 210 candidates right now to be able to put up the 70 best. I am still joined by Tanushka for this. Tanushka, what is the reason that Arvind Kejriwal doesn't want to give any space to Congress in this Delhi elections and wants to go solo?
Well, Rika, it does resonate, the decision that was taken during the BJP the Haryana elections as well, wherein the Aam Aadmi Party did not go into an alliance into the elections with the Congress. Similarly, looking forward into the Delhi State Assembly elections as well, the Aam Aadmi Party the chief has clearly said that they will not be going into these elections with the Congress party. They will not be going into the elections as an alliance with the Congress. Of course, it'll be what remains to be seen is what kind of consequences does this have on the elections, on the seat share as well. Remember, in the Haryana elections as well, they went solo and they did not partake in the elections as an alliance with the Congress, and it was quite visible in the seat share as well. So it will be quite telling this time round as well in the elections. How does this decision for the Aam Aadmi Party fare with respect to the number of seats that they gain?
Well, thank you very much, Tanushka. Politics hots up in the national capital, and this time it is about the state politics, not about the centre, even though the parliament session is on right now. Moving on to another state where the elections happened, Maharashtra, and we still are to find out who's going to be the next Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Amidst all of this, suspense, Eknath Shinde, who was in Satara, has returned to Mumbai. He was in Satara since for the last 2 days. He has really dug his heels in. We do not know who's going to be the Chief Minister. However, there has been an announcement of sorts that the swearing in of the Maharashtra government is going to happen on the 5th of December. My colleague Anuj Raite gets us this story from Mumbai. Anuj, with now Eknath Shinde coming back from Satara, then there seems to be some new development happening on ground. Tell us how close is this fight now to become the next CM of Maharashtra?
Eknath Shinde will be in Mumbai next 1.5 hours at around 3 o'clock, and an important development is that a Mahayuti meeting was expected to take place here, and it got postponed because of this sort of a surprised visit by Eknath Shinde to his hometown in Satara, that is Daregaon, and that trip got extended because of his health issues. But now, considering that he's coming back to the city after a gap of 2 days, one can expect this meeting to happen soon. We're also learning that this meeting might even take place with the presence of Eknath Shinde joining it, virtually. So even that is a possibility, because another meeting that was expected to take place was the meeting of the newly elected MLAs from the Bharatiya Janata Party. All the 132 MLAs are expected to meet for the first time so that they can elect their leader of Legislative Assembly. But even that meeting has been pushed to tomorrow now. So it will be interesting to see whether Eknath Shinde partakes into the Mahayuti meeting, which can only go ahead with the presence of Eknath Shinde either physically or in virtual form. Now we are, considering that the date has been announced by Chandrasekhar Bawankole, that is the 5th of this month when the swearing-in ceremony will take place. A lot of these developments need to pace up, considering how little time is left. The portfolio distribution, although there is some sort of a fundamental clarity on which portfolios which would go to which parties, but a proper news or a proper validation needs to come from all the three parties, and for that the all-party meeting for the Mahayuti alliance needs to happen as soon as possible, which is why we're expecting it to happen in the next 24 to 36 hours.
Right, we will closely track that story with you. Thank you very much, Anuj, for getting us those details. Days after the arrest of spiritual leader Chinmay Krishna Das, ISKCON says that 2 more Hindu priests were arrested in Bangladesh's Chattogram. ISKCON Kolkata spokesperson Radharam Das said 2 more ISKCON monks have been arrested by Bangladesh police. He had also said 2 devotees who went with prasad for Chinmay Prabhu were arrested on their way back to the temple, and Chinmay Prabhu's secretary is also missing. ISKCON has condemned the arrests. The second arrest comes after India urged the interim government in Bangladesh to protect minorities in the country. Tanushka Datta, my colleague, visits an ISKCON temple and gets us this report.
2 Hindu priests have been arrested in Bangladesh, and all of this is amidst the backdrop of this arrest of the spiritual leader Chinmay Krishna Das. And of course, ISKCON and India has urged Bangladesh to, protect the minorities, the Hindu minorities in Bangladesh. There is violence that is triggered after the arrest also of another priest who had gone to meet Chinmay Krishna Das, Shyam Das Prabhu in Bangladesh. And what we are understanding of the situation is that, of course, ISKCON as a whole community is coming together in this form of a prayer protest to pray for the Hindu minority in Bangladesh. Let us also get talking to some people here right now and understand what are they making stock of the situation. Hi ma'am, thank you for speaking to NDTV. What is your name?
It's Urvi.
Urvi, so, what are you making of, this fact that it's a prayer protest happening? ISKCON is doing this for the Hindu minorities in Bangladesh who are at this point in a compromised situation.
I think we should always be standing with our brothers and sisters, and I'm really glad that this protest is happening, because we should always condemn violence that happens against any ethnicity, but against the religious minorities, that the Hindus in Bangladesh. So I really condemn that.
what about, the situation, like do you often come to ISKCON, and how do you understand, the Hindu minorities in Bangladesh?
I don't have a lot of exposure about that, sorry. But yeah, I regularly come over here and it gives me a lot of peace praying over here. So I just hope that everybody who prays over here is able to bring some peace back to Bangladesh and to our brothers and sisters back in Bangladesh.
Thank you so much. So, as we're hearing here from the people as well, that everyone here at this point is praying for peace and for the unrest to resolve itself in Bangladesh with respect to the Hindu minorities and the priests who are being arrested at this point. With camera person Sanjay Kaushik, this is Tanushka Datta for NDTV.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
No Congress AAP alliance in Delhi, says Arvind Kejriwal. AAP has decided to go solo in the Delhi polls. 7 Maoists gunned down in an encounter in Telangana. Suspense over Maharashtra CM continues. Eknath Shinde has returned to Mumbai from Satara. Arrests on Hindu priests in Dhaka continue. 2 more ISKCON priests have been arrested.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps.
And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents NDTV Indian of the Year, powered by Raymond, co-powered by Gallant. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility, according to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024. NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India, beating all its competition. NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
Now, a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here. It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents NDTV Indian of the Year, powered by Raymond, co-powered by Gallant. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility, according to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024. NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India, beating all its competition. NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro. World's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
मुझे स्क्रिप्ट दी गई थी, मैंने पढ़ी, मगर उसके अंदर प्री क्लाइमैक्स और क्लाइमैक्स मिसिंग था। मैं शायद वो 5 मिनट के लिए यही सोच रहा था कि क्या इसको क्लाइमैक्स पता है।
रिक्वेस्ट दीनू सर की सर 30% तो बनता है सर।
आप हमें कमीशन दे देना. We'll put a
You
request.
should get some percentage out of it.
Yeah,
since
absolutely.
this pitch did.
हम एक हाथ से लिखना भूल चुके हैं. पेन कौन पकड़ता
Oh,
है?
when you write, you
Yeah,
know what
फोटोग्राफ देने के लिए पेन लेकर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन करने के लिए.
सिकंदर का मुकद्दर के 3 धुरंधर हमारे साथ है. नमस्कार, बहुत बहुत स्वागत. मेरा नाम है अरुण सिंह. वी आर डूइंग दिस फॉर NDTV नेटवर्क, सो वील कीप अ मिक्स ऑफ इंग्लिश एंड हिंदी. बहुत बहुत स्वागत. जब हम रिसर्च कर रहे थे, मैंने एक चीज़ नोटिस की, आप तीनों के बीच में एक बहुत बड़ी कॉमनैलिटी है. बिफोर आई रिवील दैट, आई वॉन्ट यू गाइज टू एक्सप्लोर व्हाट यू थिंक, व्हाट इज द मोस्ट कॉमन थिंग बिटवीन you three, something that connects you guys. What do you think?
We're all humans.
Humans, what? That's
a
a
good
great
one.
start.
Wow.
That's it. I couldn't have noticed.
Yeah.
That's a great start. What do you think?
I think we're dressed in the same color today for some
Yeah,
reason.
it's the
yeah.
browns. Yeah.
That's interesting. What do you think?
Yeah. We're all in Delhi.
That's a smart one.
Yeah.
That's really nice. But what I think is that all of you have been part of cult cinema. Like एक ऐसा काम, I'm sure एक से ज़्यादा भी हैं, but जैसे ही आपका नाम आता है तो वो एक कल्ट फिल्म आती है, जैसे लैला मजनू, जैसे बाहुबली, तनु वेड्स मानु, and there are many more. So I think that really connects you guys, that all of you have that one cult film जो आगे आने वाले 20-30 सालों तक भी लोग देखेंगे and be like, that film, which is crazy. And I hope सिकंदर का मुकद्दर में भी वो यादें जो हैं हमारे साथ ज़रूर जुड़ेंगी. What was the first reading like? I am really amused कि जब ये 3 कलाकार मिले, what was that like? You must have met पहले भी socially, or was it आप में से किसी का ऐसा था कि पहली बार मिल रहे थे?
No, we had not met before.
I met both of them for the first time.
For the first time, what was it like, if you can elaborate?
I mean, the first time when I met Jimmy sir, there was absolute silence for 20 minutes. Me, Jimmy sir and Neeraj sir were sitting and all we did was sabti.
But why?
अब 2 seniors थे, मैं तो चुपचाप बैठा हुआ था. I used to feel that it's my responsibility to keep the energy up, so I would end up
Small talk कर लेता हूँ.
small talk कुछ नहीं सर, ये वैसे करके फिर वापस चुप हो जाता था क्योंकि ये दोनों जन कुछ बोलते ही नहीं थे. So that was my first experience with Jimmy sir. The first experience was अभी recently when we met for the film. We were in Agra, right? And that's where we actually met directly for a reading, and we straight off. I think we straight off did the like we actually got on floor and started rehearsing, right? No, we rehearsed that day also on the chair. I think the first or second rehearsal, suddenly we got the sur, and then it just became very very easy, just
smooth.
Yeah.
Anything that you have in your memory the first time you met?
Tamanna I had met a couple of times before, as in like socially here and there at premieres and all that. And Avinash, like he said, that situation was such that me and Neeraj were sitting and suddenly Avinash comes in. And I was just, I was dubbing somewhere or something, and Neeraj said, if you're around, why don't you just come to the office? And I said, chalo theek hai, I'll come have a coffee. I was having my coffee and suddenly Avinash also comes, and then there was some 5-10 minute का pin drop silence जो होता है.
5-10 minute? That was just quite long.
Because वही जो नीरज ने कहा कि जी that's Avinash, that's Jimmy and this that and all whatever, और फिर सब साइलेंस होके बैठ गए. थोड़ा शाम का वक्त था, मैं तो डेफिनेटली थका हुआ था, बट वो ही इज़ राइट, वो एक अजीब सा साइलेंस था 5-7 मिनट के लिए, और उसके बाद सबके अंदर बहुत ज़्यादा एनर्जी आ गई और सब फिर बोलने लग गए. और जहाँ तक स्क्रिप्ट का सवाल है, आई थिंक मुझे स्क्रिप्ट दी गई थी, मैंने पढ़ी, मगर उसके अंदर प्री क्लाइमैक्स और क्लाइमैक्स मिसिंग था. तो मैं शायद वो 5 मिनट के लिए यही सोच रहा था कि क्या इसको क्लाइमैक्स पता है. तो so yeah, I mean that was it, but it was great fun.
Yeah, it was
shooting together. Yeah,
and again, Neeraj Pandey, you know, such a big name, amazing filmography. You worked with him for different projects. Is there anything that stands out, because you guys of course work with different creators, directors? What is that one thing that really stands out for Neeraj Pandey and kind of direction he does? Is there any process which makes him different, which can amuse our audiences or me? Because I'm really amused to know what makes him stand out, because his work definitely does.
Well, I have a long list of things to say, but because these both people have worked with him a lot more, it was my first experience Or are we going to have an awkward 1 minute?
No, why don't you start since you had it for the...
I was like, okay, is this...
Because of the first experience, I'm sure उसमें ज़्यादा stand out करता है. तो अगर आप
I mean, I was a huge fan of these really long one takes, because you can tell that the camera doesn't cut in many of his films. That's something that he's followed, and I just wanted to be a part of that experience where I understand how does he even conduct that, because they're extraordinarily long shots. And it's not like just one person is conducting it. There are so many people that are moving and crossing, and there's so much activity that's going on through those one extremely long shots that it's, I think the one edge that Neeraj sir has over anybody else is his organization and how he coordinates, gets everyone to just like do everything that they need to do, and the prep work that they do behind it, and the kind of people he hires to execute that. And he doesn't even take like a breath in the middle of the day. He's just like super focused, like razor sharp. You really can't have, we'll never be like chilling on the sets or hanging. He always has this mild smile on his face, which sometimes you don't understand whether it means that he's really happy or is he really worried.
Yeah, you don't know what's going.
He has this. His poker face is a mild smile,
okay,
which looks scary sometimes. But I think that is his. That's his game face, I'm guessing, because that just keeps him in the zone.
Okay.
But he's exactly like the directors that I think I've worked with who've been the best directors in our country. Like their instructions are very short. Like in one line they will give you what you need to do, and honestly, you don't need to have a longer conversation to actually communicate.
So short conversations, long takes is what my takeaway.
Yeah, very
from
short
would
conversations, precise conversations, but very long takes.
You? What do you think?
So there's a very funny thing that happened when I was shooting with him for Auron Mein Kahan Dam Tha. There were some long scenes with Ajay sir and myself and Tabu also and everything. So now, having worked with Neeraj on 3-4 films earlier, I just knew one thing, that he likes to keep the energy up. So when it's a steady cam shot, you're walking and you're coming, you're giving your dialogues, they're all sharp and precise and everything. So we start shooting the scene for Auron Mein Kahan Dam Tha, and I had that thing in my head. I'd read the script, so I thought that we'll keep the energy up a little bit, and I started off. Then he suddenly comes to me and he takes me on the side and he says, थोड़ा सा धीरे चलेंगे लंबे dialogue थे. So I thought he'll shoot this one also in the same way, the same kind of energy कि तो क्या कर रहे थे तुम? I'm sure कि तुम यहाँ गए थे. थोड़ा सा धीरे चलेंगे. मैंने कहा I thought you always not. He started laughing. Instantly, आराम से. इस वाली को आराम से करते.
तो जैसा पेसी edit है आप उसको ज़हन में रख के you were going all in, but that's interesting.
So that was funny then.
Avinash, before you give your takeaway, how are you receiving all the love that you're getting for Laila Majnu? I saw your reel where you went to Kashmir and people were literally mobbing you. There were girls tracking you.
Well, so this again came out of nowhere. My director and I keep saying that this is almost like divine intervention. I'd gone to Kashmir for a couple of days. He was in Kashmir, so I thought I'll meet him. We happened to walk into a restaurant. I just shared a story, and 3-4 girls walked in, and they made a reel which just went viral the next day. Cut to I'm in Srinagar, and I get tagged with reels with looking for Kais Bhatt, and then like I was insisted to have a meet and greet in Srinagar. I said चलो कर लेते हैं. My director said 4 लोग नहीं आएंगे, क्यों बेइज्जती करा रहा है? तो मैंने ठीक है कोशिश करके देखते हैं, and I think just it didn't stop from there. That meet and greet happened. We were not allowed to go out. मुहर्रम का दिन था और श्रीनगर में इतनी भीड़ एक जगह पे उसके बाद भी हो जाए वो, and so many girls. It's a slightly conservative state to have these ladies really let out all their emotions for the character was something no one expected. And Sajid just kept saying कि अच्छा श्रीनगर में आपको रिलीज चाहिए तो tag PVR and Ox. This is all we could do. That's why we didn't know what to do. So if you want, please. That's
Tag
all
them,
we said, and they just went on with it. So they started with one show in Srinagar on 2nd of August, and that one show became 3 that very day, and within 3 hours, Friday to Monday, everything was full in Srinagar. I think that made PVR Inox wake up and say, let's do it all over India. And released it in Cult Classic, thinking we will release it in 75 screens around the country, and started off with almost 225 screens to 400 to 700 the next day. It just kept building on. This is something we had not seen when the film released. We had seen 4 people in the theatres. So the joy was for me and my director to just travel around the theatres, say thank you to everyone who has come there, because it was just a feeling we had never witnessed for the film. And it just went on from there on. So the only thing I can do is join my hands and thank everyone who's been supportive of the film.
That's sweet. Coming back to Neeraj Pandey, what would be your takeaway with the kind of process that stands out for you?
I think one thing which I feel is very, very strong with Neeraj Pandey is the understanding of heartland and the connect with it, which I find present times is slightly rare. Not many people can really boast of it. There is a clear urban and heartland divide in the kind of films made. Very few films are able to really cater to all kinds of audiences, and he has that presence, very strong hold of the heartland. So that I feel is one thing very, very unique about him. Rest they have mentioned. He's one of the most organized setup that I've seen. He really wants to do the reading and rehearsals, which again has, over a period of time, you feel that directors have started doing that lesser. The prep time of sitting down and doing rehearsals for some time. That I felt, for me personally, I felt that has kind of reduced. And then there was this one man who was really going conventional with it, so that was fun. What I find about his film different again, because they are one shots, it kind of gives you a feeling of theatre, because and theatre becomes an actor medium, right? So for some reason, though it's completely his film, it's a director's medium, you do feel that it's your medium too, because you are on it all the time, right?
Yeah.
The shot is on, and your head, body, mind, soul, everything is on it. So that's a different experience that I felt on this film. Yeah, I think rest has been summed up. So,
okay, coming to you, you also created a rage with Aaj Ki Raat. There are not only women but men imitating those moves, the kids imitating those moves. Did you expect that?
No, I think that's the thing with movies, right? Or any visual medium. I think I put the same effort whether I make a reel or I make a feature or I make a long format or a song. The effort that goes into it and the passion that goes into it is the same. But I think what really worked for Aaj Ki Raat was that, when an actor tries to attempt a song and keeps a character in mind and performs a song, I think it comes across quite differently than when you just, I think it's also how your gaze is onto the song. And I think I never looked at it just as, just about the glamour quotient of it.
Of course,
but it was channeling that.
The power that franchise actually had with it. But do you think the song also needs to be credited enough for the kind of
इतना प्यार मिल गया और क्या credit करेंगे? Then Dinu sir will have to send me a few, he'll have to send me a paycheck from what was earned.
Do you think it contributed heavily in the revenue of
that's the purpose of everyone on that film.
I would want her to.
Listen, do you believe it? There's Rajkumar, there is Shraddha, there is.
Do you think the song contributed in the revenue or not?
I think it did. I think it did.
I'm sure of it.
I find it really awkward to admit it.
But no, of course, why shy away from admitting the reality?
But it's pure, like this time.
We can actually request Dinu sir ki sir, 30% तो बनता है sir. आप हमें commission दे देना.
He should get some percentage out of it since he's pitched it. Lovely. As we wrap this conversation, since it's about heist, आप लोग झूठ बोल रहे हैं एक दूसरे से. So I thought we'll have a segment which is true truths, one lie. अपने बारे में 2 सच, 1 झूठ, जो आपके बाकी जो आपके colleagues हैं, आपके cast members हैं, they'll try to find out. So वैसे वाले बताइएगा जो दूसरा catch ना कर पाए. Avinash, do you want to go first? Do you want to tell 2 truths and 1 lie about you, which Tamanna and Jimmy Ji will have to point out?
Okay.
इन्हीं सब चीज़ों के लिए इंटरव्यू होते हैं. एंड में ये करना.
पढ़ाई भी कर लेते हैं इसके लिए, इस इंटरव्यू के लिए तो ज़्यादा से. Okay, 2 truths and 1 lie, right? I've done my training in acting from New York. I love Godfather. I hate the mountains.
What do you think is the lie?
What do you think is the lie?
He said he
करी
hates
है
Maoists.
इन्होंने अपनी एक्टिंग क्लासेस तो वहाँ की हैं अमेरिका में, न्यूयॉर्क फिल्म एकेडमी if I'm not mistaken, ठीक है.
And you said you love Godfather.
Yeah.
Okay, he
He
loves
loves
Godfather.
Godfather भी सच है ये इस पे.
I hate mountains.
Hate Mountains हो भी सकता है, नहीं भी हो सकता.
What is the
Maybe
line?
is a
I think I hate mountains.
Hate Mountains ही होगा 100%. झूठ मतलब जो बोल
Is
रहे
that
हो.
correct?
Yeah, I love mountains.
Lovely. Tona, do you want to give it a shot?
Okay, I can write with two hands. I love dancing and I love swimming.
झूठ पकड़ी है.
Right with two hands. Have I seen her use her left? And the third one was swimming.
She loves swimming, is what she said.
It doesn't look like the water body, so I'm still like, I think third one. Sir, what do you think?
क्या चीज़?
I haven't seen her. Have you seen her right with both hands?
दूसरी दो चीज़ें क्या हैं?
और दूसरी स्विमिंग पसंद नहीं है.
मैं पसंद है. स्विमिंग पसंद है और
यही झूठ है.
ये झूठ है ना, मुझे भी
पक्का झूठ है.
Is that correct?
Actually मैंने दो झूठ बोले.
तेरे ने one truth two lies कर दिया है कि दोनों हाथों से नहीं लिख सकते.
I was like कोई तो मतलब.
दोनों हाथों से नहीं लिख सकती. Good one. What do you think, sir?
हम एक हाथ से लिखना भूल चुके हैं. पेन कौन पकड़ता है?
When you write, you realize.
Autograph देने के लिए पेन लेकर, contract sign करने के लिए पेन. एक हाथ से नहीं लिखा जाता.
Lastly, Jimmy sir, what do you think? आप देना चाहते हैं attempt? 2 truths, 1 lie?
मैं भी कुछ अलग करता हूँ.
Please तीनों lies मत देना.
I like vodka, I like whiskey, I like beer. बताओ क्या झूठ है?
बताइए क्या झूठ है? Vodka, whiskey and beer.
I'm feeling he's more of a vodka whiskey guy than beer.
I think he's a whiskey guy.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
know.
a whiskey guy. So I mean,
I think that's the only truth. As per me, what do you think?
He's not a beer guy, is what I feel. Like he might like it though. He says he doesn't like it. That
What do you think, Tamanna?
I think he doesn't like vodka.
Yeah, even I don't think he would like vodka. I think he's a whiskey guy. That's the only probably truth.
आप लोगों ने बहुत जोर लगा लिया अपने दिमाग के ऊपर. इन्होंने 2 झूठ बोले थे, मैंने तीनों बोले. मैं
You don't drink? Is it? Oh. But इतनी bad guy image बना ली इन्होंने movies में. We thought, oh, of course he's.
At least you don't look like a vodka person. Look like a beer person.
Love it. Thank you so very much for this conversation. And in the end, I also want to, since we read that your first, meeting, and you said it has come a full circle, I want to share a moment. It goes back to 2010. I had started my job in radio, of course, 14 years ago, and I was part of a radio jockey hunt, okay, which I won. And who came to felicitate? Mr. Shergill in Jalandhar in 2010.
That is so.
That's a circle.
Yeah, that's nice. But it was really nice to meet you again. Of course, we'll flash this here as well. But thank you so very much. All the very best for Sikandar Ka Muqaddar, and excited to watch this film. और आप तीनों भी एक साथ आए, वो भी I think एक exciting moment होगा हमारे लिए. So thank you very much, and all the very best. This is Arun Singh signing off for NDTV.
Thank you.
Days after the arrest of spiritual leader Chinmay Krishna Das, ISKCON says 2 more Hindu priests were arrested in Bangladesh's Chattogram. ISKCON Kolkata spokesperson Radharam Das said that 2 more ISKCON monks have been arrested by the police in Bangladesh. He said 2 devotees who went with Prasad for Chinmay Prabhu were arrested on their way back to the temple, and Chinmay Prabhu's secretary is also missing. ISKCON has condemned these arrests. Remember, these arrests come after India had urged the interim government in Bangladesh to protect the minorities in the country. My colleague Tanushka reports. Take a look.
2 Hindu priests have been arrested in Bangladesh, and all of this is amidst the backdrop of this arrest of the spiritual leader Chinmay Krishna Das. And of course, ISKCON and India has urged Bangladesh to, protect the minorities, the Hindu minorities in Bangladesh. There is violence that is triggered after the arrest also of another priest who had gone to meet Chinmay Krishna Das, Shyam Das Prabhu in Bangladesh. And what we are understanding of the situation is that, of course, ISKCON as a whole community is coming together in this form of a prayer protest to pray for the Hindu minority in Bangladesh. Let us also get talking to some people here right now and understand what are they making stock of the situation. Hi ma'am, thank you for speaking to NDTV. What is your name?
It's Urvi.
Urvi, so, what are you making of, this fact that it's a prayer protest happening? ISKCON is doing this for the Hindu minorities in Bangladesh who are at this point in a compromised situation.
I think we should always be standing with our brothers and sisters, and I'm really glad that this protest is happening, because we should always condemn violence that happens against any ethnicity, but against the religious minorities, that the Hindus in Bangladesh. So I really condemn that.
What about, the situation, like do you often come to ISKCON, and how do you understand, the Hindu minorities in Bangladesh?
I don't have a lot of exposure about that, sorry. But yeah, I regularly come over here, and it gives me a lot of peace praying over here. So I just hope that everybody who prays over here is able to bring some peace back to Bangladesh and to our brothers and sisters back in Bangladesh.
Thank you so much. So, as we're hearing here from the people as well, that everyone here at this point is praying for peace and for the unrest to resolve itself in Bangladesh with respect to the Hindu minorities and the priests who are being arrested at this point. With camera person Sanjay Kaushik, this is Tanushka Datta for NDTV. I am currently in ISKCON, which is in east of Kailash, and I am being joined with the communication director at ISKCON India, Vrajendra Nandan Das. Thank you for speaking to NDTV, sir. सर, ये जो आज ISKCON में पूरे भारत में जो प्रेयर प्रोटेस्ट हो रहा है, उसके बारे में हमें बताएं, क्या होने वाला है ये प्रेयर प्रोटेस्ट में?
आज ISKCON पूरे विश्व में अपने 1000 केंद्रों के माध्यम से एक शांतिपूर्वक हम प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं, भगवान से एक प्रेयर कर रहे हैं कि जो उथल पुथल मचा हुआ है बांग्लादेश में, तो वहाँ पे जितने हमारे कृष्ण भक्त हैं और जितने हिंदू समुदाय के लोग सनातनी हैं, सबकी सुरक्षा व्यवस्था सद्भावना से शांतिपूर्वक इस समस्या का समाधान निकले। तो भगवान से बड़ा पावरफुल तो कोई नहीं है। तो हम यही इसलिए हम भगवान से आज प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं कि सबको सद्बुद्धि दें।
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here. It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents NDTV Indian of the Year, powered by Raymond, co-powered by Gallant. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
Now, a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here. It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Arti Krishnan, bringing you the latest from Maharashtra on the CM face. Apart from that, we'll also bring you the latest on the Delhi elections. First, the headlines. Election Commission cracks the whip on misinformation linked to EVMs. EC says spreading false claim will lead to prosecution. Maharashtra Chief Minister's suspense still continues. Eknath Shinde to return to Mumbai today. No Congress Aam Aadmi Party alliance in Delhi. Arvind Kejriwal says Aam Aadmi Party is to go solo in the Delhi elections. Cyclone Fenjal, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister visits flood-affected areas. Puducherry records highest rainfall in 30 years. Arrests on Hindu priests in Dhaka continues. ISKCON says 2 more priests arrested amid protests. Jay Shah takes charge as ICC chair officially, aims to grow women's games. A top focus after a social media user shared a video of an allegedly tampered EVM during the Maharashtra elections. The Election Commission says that spreading false claims will lead to prosecution. The Mumbai police have now registered an FIR in the matter of the fake video. My colleague Sujata joins us with more details. Sujata, take us through this incident where a fake video of a tampered EVM or an allegedly tampered EVM was shared, and now the Election Commission has responded.
Well, certainly, and now the Election Commission has responded to these claims where it could be found that it is on one end these hackers who pose that they can hack the EVM, and also a pre-programming can be done where it can be used to favor a particular political party. Now, after the Mahayuti's massive win in the elections, we have seen that there have been these candidates who have come out and stated that there were these manipulations that have been made in the electronic voting machines, which led to such big victory for the Mahayuti. However, at this point, what is clear is that the Election Commission has warned of any such claims being made on social media, and also stated that actions will be taken against such people who are involved in making such claims. At present, it is Syed Suja, a person who claims that he is a cyber expert and can hack any EVMs, while as per the video that is being circulated on social media, it is very evident he fails to provide any such evidence or any such method to hack an EVM. And as per the video, it could also be seen that Syed on one end claims that he is a hacker and he can help a political party to win majority of the seats, but however he fails to provide any evidence. So at particular point, the Election Commission has now issued a warning stating that anybody who is involved in such acts and stating and claims that they can hack a particular EVM, and also if this could result into the public outrage where they claim that there were such tamperings being done. So at present, action has been initiated and an FIR has been filed against Syed in Mumbai as well as Delhi to ensure that he's being caught, and also the public on social media have been warned about the same.
Thank you, Sujata, for joining us and bringing us those details. Shifting focus now, while the suspense of a Maharashtra Chief Minister continues, a swearing-in ceremony for the new Mahayuti government in Maharashtra is scheduled for the 5th of December at Mumbai's Azad Maidan. Maharashtra's caretaker Chief Minister Eknath Shinde is recovering after falling ill at his native village in Satara. He will be returning to Mumbai this evening, is what we're learning. My colleague Anuj joins us with more details. Anuj, take us through the latest. We're learning that Eknath Shinde is recovering and he's going to be returning to Mumbai this evening.
Yes, he'll be returning to Mumbai a short while from now onwards. And we're also learning that Devendra Fadnavis called on Eknath Shinde. He got in touch with him just to check on his health. It shows some sort of development when it comes to how the things will go ahead now once he is back, because the one meeting that was expected to happen a couple of days ago got extended, or rather got delayed because of the extended visit of Eknath Shinde in his hometown in Baregaon in Satara district. But now that he'll be back tonight, it'll be interesting to see whether the Mahayuti, which might be in some sort of urgency at the moment, given the fact that they do not really have a lot of time before the swearing-in ceremony, which is the 5th of this month. So will they take that? Will they conduct that meeting today evening, by having Chief Minister or the caretaker Chief Minister Eknath Shinde joining either in physical or in virtual form? Because when he'll return from Satara, he'll be staying in his Thane residence. So it's very unlikely for him to come to Mumbai today itself. So it'll be interesting to see what happens later today. But we got 4 more days. And the official clarification on the name of Chief Minister is yet to come. We are expecting a meeting of the members of the Legislative Assembly from the Bharatiya Janata Party also to take place in the next couple of days, and that would be one of those official moments when when the stamp can be put to validate the name of the Chief Minister, which is not likely, as we've been reiterating time and again, is going to be Devendra Fadnavis. but what is the amount of compromise that the BJP government, or rather the entirety of Mahayuti, is ready to make when it comes to giving a little extra space to Eknath Shinde will be interesting to see, because one of the key pointers which we discussed in the Mahayuti meeting, if it takes place today, that is, will be the portfolios, the distribution of portfolios. Of course, the finance department, which was with Ajit Dada Pawar, will in all likeliness stay with him this time around as well. But what is the amount of elbow space they provide when it comes to Home Ministry, behind which we are all very aware that Eknath Shinde is strongly claiming his own party's stake. He's also asking for a speaker's position when it comes to the Legislative Assembly in Maharashtra. But it is on expected lines that Shinde Sena will get PWD department, will get urban development department. But how are their chances when it comes to Home Department will only become clear once there is an official meeting between all of the major stakeholders from the local units of Mahayuti in Maharashtra.
Right. Thank you, Anush, for joining us and bringing us those details. Now, Aam Aadmi Party convener Arvind Kejriwal ruled out the possibility of an alliance between the party and Congress for the Delhi Assembly polls due in February. Now, Aam Aadmi Party and Congress are a part of the opposition India bloc and fought in the Lok Sabha elections in Delhi together earlier this year. Now, Kejriwal says that there will be no alliance in Delhi. On the other hand, the BJP as well holding meetings ahead of the Delhi elections. Let's quickly listen into what both the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP had to say.
सर, विधानसभा चुनाव की अब सुगबुगाहट शुरू हो गई है, गठबंधन की लगातार बातें चल रही हैं, तो क्या दिल्ली में कोई गठबंधन नहीं होगा?
बीजेपी की तरफ से परिवर्तन यात्रा निकाली जाने वाली है, क्या कुछ नया देखने को मिलेगा इस बार?
परिवर्तन होगा, भ्रष्टाचारी सरकार का परिवर्तन होगा, इन अपराधियों का परिवर्तन होगा और दिल्ली में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री के नेतृत्व में डबल इंजन की सरकार बनेगी।
Tanushka joins us with more details. Tanushka, now in Delhi, of course, Arvind Kejriwal announcing that there's not going to be an alliance between the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party.
Right, Aarti, politics speaks in the capital with, of course, on looking on to the Delhi State Assembly elections. The Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal has very clearly said that they will not be contesting in these elections with the Congress. They will not be going into these elections as an alliance. This recently happened in the Haryana elections as well, wherein, very end moment, the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party rather said that they will not be contesting in the elections as an alliance. And of course, this will have an impact on the seat share as well. And what sort of consequences does this decision have? Of course, that the elections will only tell us. And there has been a lot of war of words as well between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party looking forward to the state assembly elections. The BJP has said that, especially with respect to the arrest of the Aam Aadmi Party MLA Naresh Balya, that that the Aam Aadmi Party is an extortionist government, whereas the Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal has said that he is a victim and a victim has been arrested. So, classic war of words. The BJP has also stressed upon that if they are elected in the Delhi State Assembly elections, and the first and foremost thing that, this is a broiling issue that has been going on, that they will implement is the Ayushman Bharat Yojana, the healthcare package for senior citizens. This will be implemented in the first cabinet itself, is what South Delhi MP Ramveer Bhiduri has said in this meeting today. So a lot of aspects that are being talked about by both the parties at this point. Yesterday there was a liquid thrown at Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal while he was in a rally addressing the deteriorating conditions of the law and order situation in the capital. And meanwhile, Arvind Kejriwal urges the Home Minister Amit Shah to take stock of the law and order situation in the capital, and he kind of puts the blame on the BJP, that on the centre, that they are not taking any action, which is why law and order is in such disruption in the capital.
Thank you, Tanushka, for joining us and bringing us those details. Now, as you mentioned, Arvind Kejriwal had lashed out at the BJP over the arrest of Aam Aadmi Party's Uttam Nagar MLA Naresh Balyan in connection with an extortion case registered last year. Kejriwal said that MLA Naresh Balyan is a victim of gangster Kapi Sangwan. Instead of arresting the gangster, the Delhi police has arrested Naresh Balyan. Remember, Naresh Balyan will be produced before a court in Delhi in connection to this old extortion case for his alleged links with the gangster as well. Listen in to these reactions.
कल मुझ पे हमला करवा दिया गया
मैं पदयात्रा में जा रहा था, मेरे ऊपर एक लिक्विड फेंका गया। वो लिक्विड हार्मलेस था, लेकिन वो हार्मफुल भी हो सकता था। एमएलए नरेश बाल्यान कपिल सांगवान उर्फ नंदू का विक्टिम है। वहां से उनको इस तरह की कई धमकियां आई और उन्होंने, ये मैंने एक ही चिट्ठी पढ़ी है, उन्होंने कई चिट्ठियां दिल्ली पुलिस को लिखी कि इसके ऊपर कार्रवाई कीजिए, मुझे लगातार धमकियां आ रही हैं। उस पे कार्रवाई करने की बजाय कल दिल्ली पुलिस ने नरेश बाल्यान को गिरफ्तार कर लिया। कल मेरे ऊपर हमला कराया गया। हमारा कसूर क्या था? हमारा कसूर था कि हम लोग दिल्ली की बिगड़ती हुई कानून व्यवस्था की बात उठा रहे थे।
We are being joined by BJP MP Mr. मनोज तिवारी। सर, आज मीटिंग हुई है, क्या कुछ स्ट्रेटेजी डिसाइड की गई है आप दिल्ली विधानसभा चुनाव के लिए?
नहीं, ये तो रूटीन मीटिंग है हम लोगों की। हमारी जो चुनाव संचालन समिति है उसमें जो संयोजक, सह संयोजक के बाद अलग अलग डिपार्टमेंट के अंदर लोगों की नियुक्तियां हो रही हैं। तो ये हमारा रूटीन प्रोसेस है और उद्देश्य ये है कि आम आदमी पार्टी जिसने दिल्ली के लोगों का जीना दूभर कर दिया है, उनको जो अब दिल्ली उनको रखना नहीं चाहती है, हम उसमें लोगों से संपर्क करें और लोगों को बताएं कि हम उनके लिए क्या क्या कर सकते हैं, हमारी नीति और नीयत कैसी है भाजपा की। इसकी मीटिंग थी।
सर, इसके अलावा हमने देखा कल केजरीवाल के ऊपर एक रैली के पदयात्रा के दौरान हमला हुआ था, हमला करने की कोशिश की गई थी, उनके ऊपर पानी फेंकने की कोशिश की गई थी। तमाम तरीके के आरोप जो हैं वो आम आदमी पार्टी की तरफ से बीजेपी के ऊपर लगाए जा रहे हैं, क्या कुछ कहेंगे आप?
पीने को पानी तो है नहीं, फेंकेगा कौन दिल्ली में? ये अपने से फेंकवाए होंगे, ये पक्का मेरा विश्वास है। पानी उन्हीं कहीं से खरीद के लाए होंगे, वही मिनरल वाटर रहा होगा, वही फेंकवाए होंगे। ये लोग साजिश करने के लिए पूरे देश दुनिया में नंबर 1 माने जाते हैं। मैं तो कह रहा हूँ कि इस समय पुलिस को और लोगों को बहुत सावधान रहना चाहिए। ये अपने ऊपर गोली भी चलवा सकते हैं अरविंद केजरीवाल। इस समय वो कुछ भी साजिश कर सकते हैं लोगों का ध्यान खींचने के लिए।
सर, इसके अलावा बीजेपी की तरफ से जो कल ऑडियो क्लिप्स जारी किए गए थे उसके ऊपर संज्ञान लेते हुए नरेश बाल्यान को डिटेन किया गया पुलिस की तरफ से, क्या कुछ कहेंगे आप?
भाई, अब जो इस तरह से सुपारी देता हुआ, लोगों को गैंगस्टरों से डील करता हुआ, तो ये तो बहुत बड़ा अपराध है। तो अरविंद केजरीवाल ने तो कहा ही था कि अपराधियों पर कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए, तो हो रही है। लेकिन सबसे आश्चर्य की बात है कि जो अरविंद केजरीवाल जी 10 साल बाद अचानक जागे हैं कि अपराध बढ़ गया, और जब जांच हो रही तो उनके विधायक अपराधी, वो स्वयं अपराधी, उनकी पार्टी के कई नेता अपराधी। हैरान हूँ मैं ये देख करके, जब विधायक और मुख्यमंत्री रहा व्यक्ति ही अपराध करेगा तो बाकी तो अपराधियों का मनोबल बढ़ेगा।
Jay Shah has started his role as the chair of ICC. Having assumed the role, Shah shared his plans for the governing body of cricket. He says, "I am honoured to be starting in the role of ICC chair and want to thank the ICC directors and member boards for their support and trust in me to undertake this important role." He also says that this is an exciting time for the sport as we build up to the LA 28 Olympic Games and to strive to make cricket more inclusive and popular. My colleague Rika joins us with more details. Rika, now what are Jay Shah's plans as he takes charge?
You see, Jay Shah entered cricket administration through Gujarat Cricket Association in 2009. 2019, he entered BCCI, and today he formally takes charge as the ICC chairman. It's been a long journey for him in cricket administration, and I believe the first and foremost task for Jay Shah will be to clear the Champions Trophy scheduling mess. As we know that Pakistan isn't keen on going ahead with a hybrid formula for the Champions Trophy. On the other hand, India has been told by its government that they cannot travel to Pakistan for the said tournament. So that'll be the #1 priority for Jay Shah to see that that Champions Trophy goes ahead and all the top teams participate, because it also means a chunk of revenue for the ICC. Apart from that, he said that we are at a critical juncture with coexistence of multiple formats and the need to accelerate the growth of women's game. So apart from the Champions Trophy, one understands these these two will be clear focus for Jai Shah. Number one, to see that all the three formats of the game, tests, T20s and ODIs, all three formats survive and are given equal attention by the sponsors, by the fans, as well as growing the women's cricket globally and getting in more countries to play women's cricket. Already his legacy, much of his legacy is about helping women's cricket grow in the country. We do know how he has got WPL in the Women's Premier League. Also, he has been responsible for the media rights of IPL, which came at a record sum to the BCCI. So several good things he has done for BCCI, and ICC will be hoping that he is able to replicate those efforts.
Thank you, Rika, for joining us and bringing us those details. Shifting focus now, days after the arrest of spiritual leader Chinmay Krishna Das, ISKCON says two more Hindu priests were arrested in Bangladesh's Chattogram. ISKCON Kolkata spokesperson Radha Ram Das said that two more ISKCON monks have been arrested by police in Bangladesh. He said two devotees who went with Prasad for Chinmay Prabhu were arrested on their way to the temple, and Chinmay Prabhu's secretary has also gone missing. Now, ISKCON has condemned these arrests. Remember, these arrests come after India urged the interim government in Bangladesh to protect minorities in the country. ISKCON's communication head spoke to NDTV. Listen it.
I am currently in ISKCON, which is in east of Kailash, and I'm being joined with the communication director at ISKCON India, Vrajendra Nandan Das. Thank you for speaking to NDTV, sir. सर, ये जो आज ISKCON में पूरे भारत में जो प्रेयर प्रोटेस्ट हो रहा है, उसके बारे में हमें बताएं, क्या होने वाला है ये प्रेयर प्रोटेस्ट में?
आज ISKCON पूरे विश्व में अपने 1000 केंद्रों के माध्यम से एक शांतिपूर्वक हम प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं, भगवान से एक प्रेयर कर रहे हैं कि जो उथल पुथल मचा हुआ है बांग्लादेश में, तो वहाँ पे जितने हमारे कृष्ण भक्त हैं और जितने हिंदू समुदाय के लोग सनातनी हैं, सबकी सुरक्षा व्यवस्था सद्भावना से शांतिपूर्वक इस समस्या का समाधान निकले। तो भगवान से बड़ा पावरफुल तो कोई नहीं है। तो हम यही इसलिए हम भगवान से आज प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं कि सबको सद्बुद्धि दें और ये जो उथल पुथल मच रहा है ये जो है रुके और लोग पुनः बांग्लादेश में एक शांति की स्थिति अस्थायी रूप से वहाँ पे व्यवस्थित हो जाए। इसके लिए हम लोग प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं पूरे विश्व की तरफ।
और बांग्लादेश में जो स्पिरिचुअल लीडर हैं चिन्मय कृष्णा दास, उनका जो अरेस्ट हुआ था, उनका क्या इन्वॉल्वमेंट है ये सब में? आप ISKCON से जो
में ये अभी हम आज इस पर चर्चा नहीं करना चाहते है नहीं, क्योंकि जो चढ़ा हमसे आप लोगों को भी ज़्यादा मालूम है, ऐसा नहीं है, सब पता है। लेकिन अभी भगवान से में ही प्रार्थना करते हैं। आज के प्रेयर का उद्देश्य यही है कि जितनी जल्दी हो सके वहाँ पे प्रेम भाव और सद्भावना अस्थायी रूप से स्थापित हो जाए, ताकि लोग पुनः अपना जीवन अच्छी तरह से जी सकें, अपना कार्य कर सकें। आज की प्रार्थना सिर्फ इसके लिए है। हरे कृष्णा।
Shukriya. So that was Vrajendra Nandan Das, who is, the communication director of ISKCON Delhi, who said that the main agenda for these peaceful prayer protests across the country today, in all ISKCONs across the country today, is only for the prayer of peace and for the situation of unrest to resolve itself in Bangladesh.
Shifting focus, Aster DM Healthcare organised its third edition of the Aster Guardians Global Nursing Award in Karnataka. The initiative aims to recognise the relentless hard work of nurses worldwide. Take a look at this report. Philippines' Maria Victoria Juan wins the third edition of the Aster Guardian Global Nursing Award and a whopping prize money of $250,000.
When they announce my name and then say, actually I'm the winner, oh my God, I cannot believe it. But it sank in already when I thought, this is not an award for me personally. It's an award for the military nurses who are tireless, selfless, put themselves in the harm's way, and even the civilian responders who does that, and the Filipino people.
With 10 finalists, 78,000 applicants from 203 countries, Aster DM Healthcare's initiative aims to recognize hard work for the nursing community.
Nurses form almost 60% of the healthcare community, and we always say that they don't get appreciated, celebrated enough. What is it that we can do to actually shine a spotlight on those people who are the unsung heroes of healthcare? And that's when we conceived the idea of really creating a platform at a global stage.
Currently, India has a ratio of 2 nurses per person. Representing India, Neelima Rane, one of the top 10 finalists, says that her journey pushed her to get more institutes for nurses in her state.
I discussed with my senior people with at NA and I took guidance from them how to go about it, and accordingly I have drafted Council Act. Then there was a pending nursing allowances from at least from 1995 to pretty 12 years. So I took lead to push it to government, and with my good communication and with the negotiation, I got it solved.
The nursing profession is getting more and more important, and there are organizations who are recognizing their service, but I think the scale at which Aster has done it is something remarkable, and it is at a national, international level, and I think that really gives a great boost to the profession, and I think recognizing their service and the work they do, I think it's a wonderful thing.
A WHO report cites that by 2030, there will be a shortage of 4.5 million nurses worldwide. USA's Martin Schiavanato, one of the finalists, believes that more people should opt for nursing.
A physician goes to school in the U.S. for 12 years. To enter the nursing profession, we go for 4 years. So I don't have to commit to being fill-in-the-blank specialty, Nursing offers that. And in my own career, I've been able to do military nursing. I've been able to do bedside nursing. It's offered me a tremendous diversity in terms of what I can do. Be part of the solution, be part of the group of people such as, for example, Aster, DM Healthcare, who are trying to change the image, who are trying to bring to the forefront the special role that nurses carry in our society.
A noble service to mankind, these unsung heroes of the health sector are finally getting their fair share of the recognition. Aster Guardian's Global Nursing Awards brings the nurses across the world on one platform. The aim is to make a world with a health sector that is better and broader. With camera person Kumar, this is Sri Rupa Goswami for NDTV.
We'll continue tracking these stories for you. For now, we take a short break.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro. World's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
SP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents NDTV Indian of the Year, powered by Raymond, co-powered by Gallant. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number one in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
Now, a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your lives.
News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of governance, Delhi,
NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here. It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Hello and welcome. This is India Sense. I am Gauri Dwivedi. Over the course of next 30 minutes, we bring you stories through the lens of New Delhi. And viewers, on your screens right now is the QR code that you can scan to get all the expert analysis, the perspectives, the big interviews, and news that matter to the global India. But first up, the headlines.
India has consistently and strongly raised with the Bangladesh government the threats and targeted attacks on Hindus and other minorities.
Is Bangladesh descending into more chaos with more details emerging on minority crackdown and India's repeated reminders to Dhaka that protection of minorities is the government's duty. There are concerns that Bangladesh may now be inching further away from its democratic fabric. Has Syria become the latest flashpoint in West Asia, day after the Lebanon ceasefire? A depleted Hezbollah, which supports the Assad government, faced the strongest attack in 4 years from Syrian rebels. The stage is set for Trump 2.0's West Asia policy that could see another face-off with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Instability in Pakistan drags on as former Prime Minister Imran Khan's popularity remains intact. Thousands of PTI supporters answered his clarion call, even as his party ruled Khyber Pakhtunkhwa saw fresh sectarian violence. The question remains, how long will Shahbaz Sharif last? As Donald Trump completes his dream team of China hawks, we decode what this will mean for New Delhi. A fresh boost to decoupling from China could very well be on the anvil. And Xi Jinping's military purge continues after two former and one sitting defense minister. It's now the turn of Naval Commander Mao to face probe for graft. All is not well as Xi Jinping's pet project BRI is also facing resistance from more and more countries. Big story this week is the latest that's unfolding in Bangladesh. Once the pride of South Asia, Bangladesh may well now be at a point of possibly no return, and that looks like it may be inching closer towards Pakistan. And why do I say that? Well, there are now growing threats of Islamization. Dhaka is also now sinking into political violence. There's sectarian tensions, and there is growing economic instability. It seems former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's ouster in August was a sign of things to in fact unravel. And since then, minority religious organizations like ISKCON have been labeled fundamentalists and subject to facile investigations. The Ahmadiyas are also not being spared, from the country's courts to its bureaucracy and even the police and army. All walks of government machinery are now seeing more and more extreme or even Islamist elements now coming in. What started as a student protest is now dismantling Bangladesh. That's what's happening. Its democracy is pretty much crumbling. And Sheikh Hasina has finally spoken out in the face of rising authoritarianism. Sheikh Hasina condemned the arrest of the Hindu priest, Chinmay Krishnadas Brahmachari, calling it part of a broader pattern of anarchic activities and attacks on religious minorities. The priest's arrest has also struck a nerve with the international community, the latest one being British Conservative MP Bob Blackman. He has raised this issue of violence against Hindus in Bangladesh in the UK Parliament on Wednesday.
We have a responsibility because we enable Bangladesh to be free and independent. Now, whatever the change of government has been in Bangladesh, it cannot be acceptable that religious minorities are persecuted in this way.
Okay, now the political climate is changing rapidly, and with Jamaat-e-Islami, a once banned Islamist party, now issuing statement on the interim government's behalf, the future of Dhaka's secular ideals is now increasingly becoming uncertain.
আমরা শুধু ইসকন না, আমরা বলেছি জাতীয় স্বার্থের বিরুদ্ধে যারাই যাবে তাদের ব্যাপারে পদক্ষেপ নিতে হবে।
Now, even more troubling is the meeting that took place between Mohammad Yunus and the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court. Who is that? That's Karim Khan. Well, Karim Khan himself is a controversial figure. In fact, he has some very, very checkered past. A female lawyer working for Khan was allegedly subjected to sexual advances by him. And there's been, in fact, an inquiry that's taking place against him. And after these allegations made global headlines, Khan now finds himself subject of an extreme and a very long inquiry. Now, there's more, in fact. Khan met Yunus at the very same Jamuna State Guest House on Wednesday as Jamaat's senior leadership did on Thursday as well. Okay, now this raises some very uncomfortable questions. Does he, in fact, tacitly support the atrocities that are being committed against Bangladesh's minorities? It's not just about the Hindus, it's about the Ahmadiyas, it's about the Christians, it's about the Buddhists. And is he turning a blind eye to the rising tide of extremism that's engulfing Bangladesh? What was once a nation of hope is now facing the harsh reality of economic collapse. Daily goods are now becoming expensive. Governments now not being able to ensure law and order, and that impacts the economy, that impacts its future, which is pretty much hanging by a thread with no prospect of an electoral timeline being offered to its citizens. And amidst all the chaos, Muhammad Yunus, once the West's blue-eyed boy, is now facing stark criticism, with President-elect Donald Trump condemning the violence on his campaign trail. The question now is whether Bangladesh can claw its way back from this, from the brink. As the sands of time slip away, the nation's future is now becoming clearer. From progress, it's become peril. And from democracy, it's becoming disaster. The road ahead is uncertain. But one thing is clear: Bangladesh's fight for its soul is far from over. All right, let's get you the first wide-angle story on the show. And that's the Syrian surprise. After months of fighting with Israel and losing almost its entire top leadership, the terrorist outfit Hezbollah has weakened considerably. And with it, so has Iran. And that's very clear, not just in Lebanon, where the ceasefire has taken place, but also in Syria, where rebel forces have launched a surprise attack on Bashar al-Assad's government. Significantly weakened due to a year-long battle where it has pulled out its fighters from Syria to Lebanon. Hezbollah and Iran were fighting alongside Syrian government and rebels from various factions came together for an anti-regime operation to close in on Syria's second largest city, which is Aleppo. Once the heart of Syria's uprising in 2011, Aleppo has now been a ground zero for both sides. There's devastation, there's complete destruction that's happened. And for the last 8 years, Assad's government and Iran's proxies have been controlling the city. It's clear rebels are using a vacuum that's left behind by a weakened Hezbollah to make deep advances inside Syria, politically and, of course, physically as well. And as Trump takes over, Syria could be the next battleground in the Middle East and could become another front between Russia, which supports Assad's government, and the Western forces. Russia is supporting the Assad regime and is in fact supporting the bombing that's taking place after the surprise attack on Aleppo. And if Assad loses control of Aleppo and the northwest, it could tip the balance, not just in Syria, but across the West Asia. And the shifting sands of Syria threaten to reshape the entire region, from Lebanon all the way to Iraq and further ahead. To the top voice joining us on the broadcast, Faisal Hamza, Senior Advisor to Minister of Investment, Government of Saudi Arabia, joining me live from Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. Mr. Hamza, thanks much for taking out the time speaking to me on India Ascents. And there's in fact a lot to talk about. You're trying, and your government is trying to get in big ticket investments. Let me start by asking you about that. The Global Supply Chain Resilience Initiative that your government is really trying to now work on. How does that get and align with Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030?
Right. So I'll take the question in two parts. First of all, the Global Supply Chain Resilience Initiative, which we call GSRI, GSCRI, was launched in late 2020 at a time when global supply chains were significantly disrupted. So it's a forward-looking program meant to plug the kingdom into global supply chains and offer manufacturers a site to produce from, to target significant portions of the globe. We have four main objectives in the GSRI program. Number one is to target large-scale export-oriented manufacturing. Second one is to increase supply chain resilience. So as an example of that, if certain supply chains are very concentrated in one or two countries, those are good supply chains for us to try to also get into the kingdom and to use the kingdom as a target to target broader areas of the globe. We want to develop integrated value chains and both locally and globally. And most importantly, we have a concept here called green shoring. And what is green shoring? Green shoring is with the need for lower carbon footprints these days and ESG investing. The kingdom offers clean and green energy to manufacturers so they can come and take advantage of the kingdom's clean energy sources and be closer to the clean energy sources and cost-effective energy sources. So that I think addresses the first part of the question. The second part of the question, the Vision 2030 aims to diversify the Saudi economy and to diversify away mainly from the oil and gas and petrochemical sectors. So Jisri targets many sectors that are historically not present in the kingdom. And so it's completely consistent with the vision and diversification of the economy and attracting foreign direct investment into the kingdom.
In fact, let me then also ask you the role that you see India playing as far as this major initiative that Saudi Arabia is now coming out with.
Extremely important. As you may be aware, one of our announced transactions today was with a large Indian group, and we're very excited about that. But India is a key trading partner of the kingdom, always has been, and we anticipate that it always will be. And so the more we can attract Indian companies to produce here, to use Saudi Arabia as a base, the more that our relationship will just continue to strengthen. It's already extremely strong and growing. India is one of our largest trading partners. I believe also Saudi is in the top 5 trading partners with India. And we hope that relationship will continue to expand. And we encourage Indian companies to come and to explore using the kingdom as a hub to benefit from our competitive advantages that we discussed earlier.
Mr. Hamza, we are talking because India sees itself to play a significant role in this region, in the Middle East, in West Asia. It's not just about trade, it's about a larger role that India envisages for itself. And for that, IMEC is extremely important. I want to ask you, what are your thoughts when it comes to the India-Middle East corridor, its significance for the region and for the India-Saudi Arabia relationship as well?
IMEC is extremely important from a number of aspects. It stands for India, Middle East, Europe corridor, and it aims to connect India, Saudi Arabia, and Europe in, I think, 3 main areas. One is data and data cables, and we're already quite active in that regard, and there's a number of projects connecting Europe with the kingdom for high bandwidth subsea cables, and I expect that those cables will continue eastward and connect to India as well. So that's number one priority, especially with the AI revolution that's going on these days. The second area is logistics, and that's connecting India with Europe through Saudi Arabia, possibly through a rail network which will shorten the transport time between India and Europe significantly. I think something like 12 days, but that's very important. And finally, we're connecting East and West with energy through subsea power cables, and that's very critical to the kingdom. We have a huge program of renewable energy, and we would love to connect East and West to be able to give our clean energy to the world, and India, of course, is a very important part of that. So that's all extremely consistent with what IMEC is all about, and the Global Supply Chain Resilience Initiative is focusing on electrification, copper and copper cables, data center infrastructure, and the like. So it kind of very consistent with the themes identified in IMEC.
All right, Mr. Hamza. Thanks much for breaking that down for us. Of course, it's much more than just economic partnerships and trade partnerships, but that's pretty much at the heart of this relationship. Thanks much for taking out the time. All right, we slip into a very short break. We come back on the other side and talk more about Trump's House of Hawks. He's filled his team with China hawks. What does it mean for New Delhi and the Washington-New Delhi relationship? We come back and talk more. Stay with us.
been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai. India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents NDTV Indian of the Year, powered by Raymond, co-powered by Gallant. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
Now a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
To the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here. It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of maximum city is infectious.
Welcome back. You're watching India Ascends. Now we focus on President-elect Donald Trump's dream team, which is now pretty much in place. And a look at his economic team pretty much gives an idea of how he plans to carry forward the economic promises he made on the campaign trail. It's full of China hawks, which means he's going to have a very strong stance when it comes to China. But will that give an opportunity to New Delhi, whether in terms of tariffs? Could that be in terms of decoupling? Could that just be in terms of a much stronger posturing against China? Take a look at this report that decodes that for you in terms of what could be the New Delhi-Washington economic relationship under Trump 2.0.
Trump's House of Hawks is now almost complete. Kevin Hassett, pick from Trump 1.0 and a known votary of tax cuts, has been announced as Director of National Economic Council. And Jamieson Greer has been picked to be the trade representative. With Canada, Mexico, and China accounting for 41% of U.S. trade, bulk of Greer's tariff salvo will be directed towards these countries. In fact, Greer's thoughts on China are both radical and maverick, like expansion of export controls from semiconductors to other tech areas, revocation of China's permanent normal trade relation status, and stronger investment controls. While most of them will not translate into U.S. policy, the hawkish position is indicative of the broad direction of Trump 2.0. And India will not go unscathed, especially since Trump termed India as tariff king, but India has reasons to be less wary. Greer is also championing decoupling from China, a move that could provide a major flip to India to be part of global supply chains. An imminent trade war may also be short-lived since, as per Goldman Sachs, it will push up personal consumption expenses by almost a percentage. For Trump, tariffs will also be a negotiating tactic, one where New Delhi is best not part of.
All right, now the second inside story on the show, which is, well, as far as China's dream project is concerned, or Xi Jinping's dream project is concerned, BRI, why are countries rejecting it? Nepal being the latest. KP Sharma Oli has said that he will not sign any BRI projects. Why? Because those loans are expensive. But Nepal is not alone. There is a growing list of nations that are shunning the Belt and Road Initiative. It's in fact unraveling. Why is that happening and how does it impact China? Take a look at this report.
In a world where financial highways crisscross continents, China's Belt and Road Initiative, or the BRI, has once again heralded a golden road to prosperity. But today it finds itself in troubled waters. The promise, infrastructure development, investment and trade for developing nations across Asia, Africa and beyond. The reality, a growing chorus of critics from Global South accusing Beijing of creating a debt trap that could leave countries at risk of losing control over their sovereignty. Nepal's Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli recently made waves, shattering the myth of Chinese economic benevolence. Oli declined. He would not sign any new loan agreements under the BRI using his official visit to Beijing this December. His words came as a warning bell for other nations already walking the fine line between economic growth and financial ruin. Nepal joins a growing list of countries skeptical of China's financial offers, seeing the BRI not as a lifeline but as a potential burden. In fact, Nepal isn't the only nation pressing the brakes. Brazil, the giant of South America, has now joined India in rejecting China's ambitious project. After India's refusal, Brazil became the second BRICS country to sidestep the BRI, a clear sign that even emerging economies are waking up to the risks of Chinese debt diplomacy. A stark warning from the International Monetary Fund has echoed across the Indian Ocean as the Maldives faces the perilous edge of a debt crisis, warning the country of high debt distress due to its growing reliance on Chinese loans. With Ireland sinking under the weight of mounting bills, the IMF calls for an urgent policy adjustment before it's too late. For many, the dream of a prosperous future is turning into a nightmare as countries find themselves chained to loans they can't repay. China's Belt and Road Initiative, once a beacon of global connectivity, may now be seen as a dangerous game of high-stakes geopolitics where the cost of entry might just be too high.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of India Sense. Thanks so much for watching.
RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents NDTV Indian of the Year, powered by Raymond, co-powered by Gallant. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India, beating all its competition. NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
Now a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From maximum city, Mumbai,
to the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
It's a close shave for Indigo passengers at Chennai Airport as the plane swerves post-touchdown amid strong winds. Eknath Shinde to return to Mumbai today. Shinde's temple run amid suspense over portfolios in Maharashtra. Election Commission cracks the whip on misinformation linked to EVMs. They say spreading false claim will lead to prosecution. Fake video showing EVM tampering. Cops file FIR. No Congress-AAP alliance in Delhi, says Arvind Kejriwal. Aam Aadmi Party to go solo in Delhi polls. RSS chief flags concerns over declining population. He says need fertility rate at 2.1% for society to survive. Jay Shah officially takes over as the ICC chairman. He aims to grow women's game. Shah aims to expand the global reach of the game. Hello and welcome to News at 3. I'm your host Rika Roy and here is the top story. A video has emerged of a dramatic situation as an Indigo A321 Neo airliner was touching down at Chennai airport in poor weather conditions yesterday. The aircraft on a flight from Mumbai didn't have a controlled touchdown and its wing tilted sharply to the left before the pilot in command initiated a go-around and climbed back again. The aircraft eventually diverted to Hyderabad. Those are the pictures of the aircraft trying to touch down and then being diverted to Hyderabad. My colleague Vishnu Shom joins me for more on this story. Vishnu, how close was this for the passengers?
Well, you know, whenever we use the words close call, it is a bit of a cliche when it comes to civil aviation. The fact of the matter is that pilots are trained day in and day out in simulators to handle exactly this situation. That said, it would have been uncomfortable for the passengers. It would have been uncomfortable for the crew members having to take a split-second decision in what appeared to be a low-level wind shear, quite possibly, or a sudden wind gust at a very low altitude moments before this aircraft was supposed to touch down in Chennai. It was on a flight from Mumbai. Ultimately, the aircraft had to divert to Hyderabad and eventually from Hyderabad return to Mumbai. They could never come back to Chennai. Remember, there's been a cyclone in the area and the airport at this stage, this video is from yesterday, had not been shut down. But shortly after this, the airport was shut down only to reopen this morning. But what you see in this video is the aircraft, the left wing of the aircraft tilting sharply to the left, perhaps just a few inches above the ground. However, there was no engine strike or there was no wingtip strike which took place. The pilots would have initiated a go-around maneuver. That means engaging the engines at full power and then climbing away safely. So that's what did take place in fairly poor weather conditions in that region.
And what is Indigo saying about this, Vishnu?
Well, Indigo have issued a statement and they say that their pilots are trained to handle this sort of situation. It is not uncommon for something like this to take place. They spoke about the professionalism of their pilots in dealing with an unpredictable scenario, and they did point out that the aircraft did a go-around when safe landing was not possible at Chennai International Airport.
Right. Thank you very much for joining us with that story. Moving on, Cyclone Fenjal made a landfall as it crossed the Tamil Nadu coast between Karaikal and Mahabalipuram. The cyclone triggered heavy rainfall and strong winds over coastal districts in North Tamil Nadu, flooding low-lying areas and disrupting flights as well as EMU train services in Chennai. Flight operations, though, have resumed since this morning. I'm joined by my colleague Sam Daniel for more on this story. Sam, thank you very much for getting us this report. Firstly, is everything safe with you? And tell us, how are people in Chennai and in the surrounding districts suffering because of these disruptions?
Rika, thank you very much. We are fine. Chennai witnessed flooding yesterday in some low-lying pockets after the city received 10 centimeters rain. But now the focus has shifted to Puducherry and at least two adjoining districts of Tamil Nadu, Viluppuram and Kadalur. In Puducherry, they received a record 49 centimeters rain over the last 24 hours. And in neighboring Viluppuram, in a place called Mailam, 51 centimeter rain has been received, and also in Kadalur, joining Kadalur. And in Puducherry, the army has come for rescue. A few hundred people have been moved from low-lying pockets where at least 5 feet of water is there, and waters have entered many homes there. And at least a few hundred people have been moved to cyclone shelters there. It's unprecedented for Puducherry. The heavy rains received earlier was in 2001, in fact, around 24 centimeters rain. And in Viluppuram and in Kadalur, in all these areas, heavy rains bound even now, because the cyclone, even after landing last night, continues to hover around the same area in a stationary form practically, and that's why it has triggered extremely heavy rainfall in that region. And the Met Office has said in the next 6 hours, this would weaken into a deep depression and move away. That's what they're waiting for. But in terms of the preparedness, Tamil Nadu government says authorities from the Revenue Department, the police, the NDRF and SDRF have all swung into action to provide relief and rescue operations, and also to make sure people are not put to severe hardship. And in that sense, it's fine. But Puducherry appears to have really received the brunt of it. And including army, the police, everyone is on rescue operation at the moment. All eyes will be on the movement of this cyclone Fain Jal to possibly move out of that area, which Met says could take at least another 6 hours. Rika.
Thank you very much for getting us that report, Sam, and stay safe. Meanwhile, the suspense over Maharashtra Chief Minister continues. The swearing-in ceremony for the new Mahayuti government in Maharashtra is scheduled for 5th of December at Mumbai's Azad Maidan. Meanwhile, caretaker Chief Minister Eknath Shinde is expected to return to Mumbai this evening. Shinde has been on a temple visit to his hometown Satara. Well, the suspense over who becomes the Maharashtra Chief Minister continues. Eknath Shinde has dug his heels in. He is currently the caretaker Chief Minister. My colleague Anuj joins me for more on this story. Anuj, Eknath Shinde is headed to Mumbai right now after his temple run. Tell us how things are expected to shape up once he arrives in Mumbai, and it is like a mini break, it seems, that he had taken before hectic political activities begin over the next 2 days.
Yes, he was in Satara for 2 days, and he will be here in Thane in no time from now onwards, because he's already left Satara, so he should be here shortly. But we were talking to Naresh Maske. He's the MP from Thane, from of course Shinde Shiv Sena party, and he told that although he's doing better than what he was doing earlier, but he still suggested rest, which means that the scheduled Mahayuti meeting, for which everyone has been waiting for, may not necessarily happen today, considering that Eknath Shinde is not 100% fit. They'll wait for him to become slightly better. He suggested rest for at least one more day, and this meeting might happen tomorrow. Now, why is this meeting important? Is because the clouds of doubt on the portfolio distribution is still not very clear, although everyone is almost sure of the fact that it is indeed going to be Devendra Fadnavis who will be sworn in as the next Chief Minister of the state on the 5th of December. But then who exactly will be the Deputy Chief Minister from Shinde Sena? Because we already had Ajit Dada Pawar talk about how the Mahayuti 2.0 is going to follow the same formula of going ahead with the Chief Minister and 2 Deputy Chief Ministers. But then, will Shinde Sena carry on, by supporting NDA, by being an active part of the government, or will they only extend their support for the cause of Hindutva, as has been said before on multiple occasions as well? That is something that will only become clear once the Mahayuti leaders put their heads down and then they meet and they talk about the portfolio distribution. While we speak, it is still very unlikely for Shinde Sena to get that one portfolio that they've been asking for, and that is the Home Ministry. Even more clarity is expected on the same once the meeting takes place, which in all probability will be tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Anuj, for getting us this story. Now, moving on, the RSS chief has spoken once again on the population balance. He says decline in population is a matter of concern because society needs to survive. Mohan Bhagwat says that many languages and societies have been destroyed in the past. The population policy was decided in 1998, and he goes on to say that the fertility rate needs to be above 2.1. My colleague Vasudha Venugopal joins me for more on the story. Vasudha, it isn't the first time that RSS is speaking on this issue of population balance, but give us a little more context on why he has decided to bring it up at this moment, at this juncture once again.
Absolutely, Rika. In some ways suggesting that there needs to be a review of the two-child norm that India has had as its population policy for decades now, and also in some ways taking a different view from what he has said in the past with regard to a national population policy, which, like you rightly said, also has been contextually, connected with the demography, changing in many states, specifically in states like Assam, or for that matter, even West Bengal or Kerala, which is something that the RSS has often spoken about. Today, the Sarsang Chalak or the RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat's statement was quite different, and he basically said that, societies which have a TFR or the total fertility rate going below 2.1 are in the danger of perishing, and with that, of course, not just people's hard-earned, culture and heritage, but also, societies perish, and which is why there needs to be care taken to ensure that the TFR remains above 2.1. Like we all know that India's TFR is nearing a replacement level for some years now, and there isn't that problem of population explosion as we imagined and we sort of like speculated some years ago. And there are countries like China, and for that matter even some countries in the West which are also facing dangers of aging population, and this is something that the RSS has often talked about, that we need more young people, and we need to stop shaming people who have more than 2 children, and which is why the Sarsang Chalak also said today that it's okay to have a policy where parents can have it, couples can have more than 2 to 3 children. And all of this was spoken in an event which basically extols the values of family system, which has also been one of the foundational principles of the RSS. Kutum Prabodhan is what they call, and this is one of the founding principles of the RSS, something to ensure that the family remains intact so that the Hindu society flourishes.
Right, thank you very much for getting us all those details. Time now for a very quick break on the show. More on the other side. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
have been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai. India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents NDTV Indian of the Year, powered by Raymond, co-powered by Gallant. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India, beating all its competition. NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
Now, a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here. It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their
Welcome back. Aster DM Healthcare organized its third edition of the Aster Guardians Global Nursing Award in Karnataka. The initiative aims to recognize the relentless hard work of nurses worldwide. Here's a report.
Philippines' Maria Victoria Juan wins the third edition of the Aster Guardian Global Nursing Award and a whopping prize money of $250,000.
When they announce my name and then say, actually, I'm the winner. Oh my God, I cannot believe it. But it sank in already when I thought, this is not an award for me personally. It's an award for the military nurses who are tireless, selfless, put themselves in the harm's way, and even the civilian responders who does that, and the Filipino people.
With 10 finalists, 78,000 applicants from 203 countries, Aster DM Healthcare's initiative aims to recognize hard work for the nursing community.
Nurses form almost 60% of the healthcare community, and we always say that they don't get appreciated, celebrated enough. What is it that we can do to actually shine a spotlight on those people who are the unsung heroes of healthcare? And that's when we conceived the idea of really creating a platform at a global stage.
Currently, India has a ratio of 2 nurses per person. Representing India, Neelima Rane, one of the top 10 finalists, says that her journey pushed her to get more institutes for nurses in her state.
I discussed with my senior people with at NA and I took guidance from them how to go about it, and accordingly I have drafted Council Act. Then there was a pending nursing allowances from at least from 1995 to pretty 12 years. So I took lead to push it to government, and with my good communication and with the negotiation, I got it solved.
The nursing profession is getting more and more important, and there are organizations who are recognizing their service, but I think the scale at which Aster has done it is something remarkable, and it is at a national, international level, and I think that really gives a great boost to the profession, and I think recognizing their service and the work they do, I think it's a wonderful thing.
A WHO report cites that by 2030, there will be a shortage of 4.5 million nurses worldwide. USA's Martin Schiavanato, one of the finalists, believes that more people should opt for nursing.
A physician goes to school in the U.S. for 12 years. To enter the nursing profession, we go for 4 years. So I don't have to commit to being fill-in-the-blank specialty, Nursing offers that. And in my own career, I've been able to do military nursing. I've been able to do bedside nursing. It's offered me a tremendous diversity in terms of what I can do. Be part of the solution, be part of the group of people such as, for example, Aster DM Healthcare, who are trying to change the image, who are trying to bring to the forefront the special role that nurses carry in our society.
A noble service to mankind, these unsung heroes.
Well, moving back to Mumbai, Eknath Shinde addressing there after having returned to Mumbai. He was on a temple visit in Satara.
अभी हमें उनका विकास करना है, ये योजनाएं को आगे बढ़ाना है, इसके पीछे हम काम करेंगे. इतने में
जो सवाल ये उठ रहे हैं सर, अपोजिशन की तरफ से सवाल ये उठ रहे हैं कि तारीख घोषित हो गई है, स्थल घोषित हो गया है, पर सीएम अभी तक घोषित नहीं किया.
अरे भैया, उनकी कल मीटिंग है ना विधानमंडल पक्ष की, उनकी मीटिंग है, उसमें तय हो जाएगा. क्यों चिंता करते हो? 5 तारीख तो हुई है, तो आप चिंता मत करो, सब बराबर हो जाएगा.
राज्यामध्ये फेरमतमोजणीची मागणी झाली.
अरे ते निवडणूक आयोग बघेल, कोर्ट बघेल, आणि काय आहे, जेव्हा तुम्ही हरता तेव्हा ईव्हीएम खराब आहे, जेव्हा जिंकता तेव्हा ईव्हीएम चांगला आहे. असं कसं काय? तुम्ही एकच भूमिका घ्यायला पाहिजे. झारखंडमध्ये तुम्ही जिंकले, लोकसभेत तुम्ही जिंकले, कर्नाटकमध्ये जिंकले, तेलंगणात जिंकले, तेव्हा काय ईव्हीएम चांगली होती. ईव्हीएमच्या बद्दल काही चौकशी करा, काही करा. तुम्हाला सांगतो, या महाराष्ट्रातल्या लाडक्या बहिणींनी भरभरून, लाडक्या भावांनी आणि लाडक्या शेतकऱ्यांनी भरभरून दिलेलं आहे.
Well, we'll have to take a break at this moment, but we shall come back with lots more on this. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai. India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland. The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents NDTV Indian of the Year, powered by Raymond, co-powered by Gallant. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India, beating all its competition. NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
Now, a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead. From Maximum City, Mumbai, to the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here. It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
Hello guys and welcome back to the fresh episode of your favorite show around gadgets. It's called Gadgets 360 with Technical Guru, जिसको आप देखते हैं हर वीक ऑन द NDTV नेटवर्क। एंड मैं गौरव हर बार आपसे नए नए गैजेट्स के बारे में बात करता हूँ, नए लॉन्चेस, नए अपडेट्स, आपके सवालों के जवाब, नई नई खबरें, सब कुछ एक साथ पैक करते हुए हम हर बार एंजॉय करते हैं नए वाले गैजेट्स को। इस हफ्ते भी कुछ ऐसा ही करने वाले हैं। लेट्स स्टार्ट वेरी फास्ट विदाउट वेस्टिंग अ बीट। चलिए शुरू करते हैं। Friends, the first thing that we need to do is just take a quick recap, a quick rewind, a quick look around of the world around us, especially gadgets की दुनिया, because ये बहुत तेज गोल गोल घूमती है और उसको रोक के समझ पाने के लिए आप ये शो देखते हैं। तो let's see up close कि what happened in the past week in this section, news of the week.
Techno has launched the Pop 9 in India, priced at rupees 6,499, targeting Gen Z and Gen Alpha with its entertainment-focused features. इसमें आपको एक 6.67 इंच का HD प्लस डिस्प्ले 90 हर्ट्ज के रिफ्रेश रेट के साथ देखने को मिल जाता है। ये स्मार्टफोन इक्विप्ड है MediaTek G50 SoC के साथ और इसमें 6GB RAM and up to 1 TB expandable storage भी मिल जाती है। The phone is also durable with an IP54 rating and customizable with interchangeable skins. Sony ने PlayStation Portal के लिए अपना लेटेस्ट अपडेट इंट्रोड्यूस किया है, जो PlayStation Plus प्रीमियम मेंबर्स को क्लाउड स्ट्रीमिंग का फीचर देता है। इसका मतलब है कि आप सिलेक्टेड PS5 गेम्स डायरेक्टली पोर्टल पर स्ट्रीम कर सकते हैं बिना फिजिकल कंसोल की जरूरत के। HMD ने इंडिया में अपना मॉड्यूलर स्मार्टफोन HMD Fusion लॉन्च किया है। इस फोन में कस्टमाइजेबल बैक पैनल्स दिए गए हैं, जिससे यूजर्स अपने हिसाब से मॉडिफाई कर सकते हैं। आप गेमिंग एनहांसमेंट्स, रिंग लाइट और रगेड ड्यूरेबिलिटी जैसे फीचर्स ऐड कर सकते हैं। ये मॉड्यूलर डिजाइन फोन को फंक्शनल और पर्सनल बनाता है और इसे आप अपने यूज के हिसाब से कस्टमाइज कर सकते हैं। It boasts a 6.56-inch HD Plus display with a 90 Hz refresh rate, Qualcomm Snapdragon 4 Gen 2 processor, up to 8GB of RAM, 128GB expandable storage, and a 108 megapixel dual rear camera. The phone runs on Android 14, promises 2 years of updates, and supports 33-watt fast charging with a 5000 mAh battery. ये स्मार्टफोन Amazon जैसे प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर अवेलेबल होगा। HMD ने अभी तक इस स्मार्टफोन का प्राइस रिवील नहीं किया है। The iQOO 13 will launch in India on December 3rd, 2024. As a flagship phone powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, इसमें एक 6.82 इंच का 2K OLED डिस्प्ले 144 हर्ट्ज के रिफ्रेश रेट के साथ आएगा and a rumored 50 megapixel triple rear camera setup might also be there. Instagram has introduced updates to direct messages, making them more interactive and customizable. अब यूजर्स अपने फ्रेंड्स को निकनेम्स दे सकते हैं, लाइव या पिन्ड लोकेशंस शेयर कर सकते हैं और 300 से ज़्यादा नए स्टिकर्स का एक्सेस मिलता है, जिसमें आप अपने पर्सनल इमेजेस से कस्टम स्टिकर्स भी बना सकते हैं। Additionally, tools for adding text and drawings to photos and videos enhance creativity. बर्थडे नोट्स जैसे सेलिब्रेटरी फीचर्स में अब कन्फेटी एनिमेशंस और बर्थडे केक्स भी मिलेंगे। These updates aim to make chats more engaging and personalized, reflecting Instagram's focus on enhancing user interaction and creativity.
Friends, the first story this episode is all about this, the new Realme GT7 Pro. This smartphone in fact is India's first smartphone जिसमें लगा है Qualcomm's latest Snapdragon 8 Elite processor. It has some amazing features packed all around, जहाँ पे we have some AI features as well, and again we have some impressive camera hardware. Screen काफी exciting है. I mean all the features. Let's see up close how exactly is this Realme's latest flagship smartphone, the GT7 Pro.
Realme GT7 Pro इंडिया का पहला स्मार्टफोन है जो लेटेस्ट Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite के साथ आता है और Realme के अकॉर्डिंगली ये 45% बूस्ट ऑफर करता है सिंगल कोर और मल्टी कोर परफॉर्मेंस में. It is built on TMC's advanced 3nm process. It uses a 6.78-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED display co-developed with Samsung that offers 120% DCI P3 color saturation, 6500 nits peak brightness and up to 120 Hz refresh rate. इस स्मार्टफोन में एक 5800 mAh सिलिकॉन एनोड बैटरी है जो 120 वॉट सुपर वूक फास्ट चार्जिंग सपोर्ट करती है, enabling a full charge in just 37 minutes. The camera setup includes a 50 megapixel Sony IMX906 main camera with OIS, a 50 megapixel telephoto lens, and an 8 megapixel ultra wide lens. AI snap mode और underwater photography mode जैसे फीचर्स इसकी इमेजिंग कैपेबिलिटीज और एनहांस करते हैं. इसमें मोशन डी ब्लर, गेमिंग सुपर रेजोल्यूशन और स्केच टू इमेज जैसे AI फीचर्स भी देखने को मिल जाते हैं. It comes equipped with Realme UI 6.0, which is based on Android 15. Realme GT7 Pro एक powerful flagship है जो tech enthusiasts के लिए डिजाइन किया गया है. It starts at ₹59,999 in India.
So friends, देखा आपने how this phone packs everything. मतलब technology is moving so fast, right? I mean, we have these new processors scoring upwards of 3 million on Antutu benchmark. Battery capacity बढ़ गई है, charging speeds बढ़ गई हैं, screen की brightness बढ़ गई है और price भी of course बढ़ी गई है. But then again, all the fun is in these new gadgets. छोटे से but very essential, always in our pockets but very useful, the new smartphones. Well guys, स्मार्टफोन से ही मेरे को याद आती है एक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ जिसको अक्सर हम हमारे फोन्स पे यूज़ करते हैं, एंड इफ़ यू आर नॉट यूजिंग इट यू माइट वांट टू यूज़ इट वंस यू हियर अबाउट इट, बिकॉज आज की जो डिड यू नो वाली चीज़ है, इट इज़ ऑल अबाउट द प्रिवेसी गार्ड्स. नाउ सी, ऑन द फोन्स वी यूजुअली हैव नॉर्मल स्क्रीन प्रोटेक्टर्स. फोन गिरेगा, स्क्रीन बच जाएगा, स्क्रीन गार्ड टूट जाएगा, सिंपल. But then there is something which is called as a privacy guard. अब आप अगर सोचते हैं कि privacy guard क्या है और ये कैसे काम करता है, because it looks like a normal screen guard, but it has a very special ability and the ability to keep the eyes around away from what's on your screen. Basically, it looks like a normal screen guard. जब आप अपने फोन को normally use करते हैं, you can see all its content, but if someone tries to look at your screen from an angle, screen पे कुछ दिखाई नहीं देता है. Basically, it has a different structure, kind of like blinds. जैसे आपने खिड़कियों पे देखा होगा कि आपको एक एंगल पे दिख रहा है, the moment the blinds are turned, you can't see anything. तो यहाँ पे कुछ ऐसा ही होता है और pretty useful in a way to avoid people on the sides to peek into your smartphone and देखें कि आप अपनी स्क्रीन पे किससे बात कर रहे हैं या क्या कर रहे हैं. यहाँ पे एक और इसका एडवांटेज है, which is that it reduces the brightness just by a bit. तो आपकी आंखों के लिए थोड़ा सा बेटर हो जाता है because you don't get as much strain as you would while using it normally. तो ये है privacy guards के बारे में इन्फॉर्मेशन और कैसे काम ये करते हैं. You know this? बहुत बढ़िया, यूज कर सकते हैं. अगर नहीं होता still you can start using the privacy guards. Very essential, especially if you are traveling in public transport and you don't want people around you to look into your phone. ये काफ़ी आपकी मदद कर सकता है. And in fact, this is available for tablets and laptops as well. अगर आपको नहीं पता था, you just write at tg@ndtv.com और मुझे बताओ कुछ ऐसा जो मुझे ना पता हो, ताकि मैं नेक्स्ट एपिसोड में आप सबको बता पाऊँ. Friends, the next gadget I have is a bit big. मैं उसको लेके आ सकता था, but I felt कि चलो छोड़ो, because नाम में अल्ट्रा है और एक टैब है. अब इतना बड़ा तो नहीं, but still काफी बड़ा टैब है. In fact, it is the biggest tablet of the world. Screen size of 14.6 inches. This is the Samsung's latest Galaxy Tab S10 Ultra. लेट्स सी अप क्लोज कि आखिर ये बहुत ही स्लीक प्रोफाइल में आने वाला जो टैबलेट है पावर्ड बाय गैलेक्सी एआई क्या नए फीचर्स लेके आता है एंड हाउ एग्जैक्टली इट मेक्स आवर लाइव्स मच मोर प्रोडक्टिव एंड fun while we use this tablet.
The Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 Ultra is a premium tablet designed for those who demand top-tier performance and display quality. इसमें एक 14.6 इंच का डायनामिक AMOLED 2X डिस्प्ले 120 Hz रिफ्रेश रेट के साथ मिल जाता है, ensuring vibrant visuals for both productivity and entertainment. It is powered by an octa-core processor और इसमें 12GB तक की RAM और 256GB तक की internal storage भी मिल जाती है, which is also expandable up to 1.5 TB. This is ideal for gaming and watching content on the go. On the photography front, the Tab S10 Ultra is equipped with a 13MP plus 8MP rear camera setup, along with a dual 12MP front cameras, जो video calls, selfies और content creation के लिए ideal हैं. The device uses an 11,200 mAh battery. Additionally, the inclusion of S Pen support makes it a versatile tool for drawing, note-taking and enhanced productivity. इस टैब में Galaxy AI features भी available हैं. Samsung Galaxy S10 Ultra Tab runs on One UI 6.1, which is based on Android 14. It is priced starting at rupees 1,08,999.
तो फ्रेंड्स, देखा आपने कि कैसे एक बहुत ही स्लीक सा टैबलेट काफी ज्यादा पावर लेके आता है. आई थिंक दिस इज क्वाइट अ कंपेनियन अगर हम बात करते हैं फॉर लॉन्ग ट्रैवल्स, या अगर आप बेड पे हैं एंड यू ट्राइंग टू वॉच सम कंटेंट ऑनलाइन. यहाँ पे इस टैब का जो बड़ा स्क्रीन है वो अलाउ करता है वाइड स्क्रीन फॉर्मेट में आपको कि आप अपना फेवरेट कंटेंट देख पाएं. एट द सेम टाइम यू वांट टू डू सम वर्क एंड गेट स्टफ डन. All thanks to Galaxy AI, you can do all that on Samsung's latest Galaxy Tab S10 Ultra. लेकिन ब्रेक के बाद मैं आपको बताऊंगा कुछ ऐसा जिसको आप करना कभी मिस नहीं करेंगे while buying a used smartphone. आपके सवालों के जवाब तो हैं ही, everything right after this short break.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of maximum city is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai. India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland. The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents NDTV Indian of the Year, powered by Raymond, co-powered by Gallant. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India, beating all its competition. NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India. Our $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here. It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
the energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai. India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland. The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
RP Sanjeev Goenka Group presents NDTV Indian of the Year, powered by Raymond, co-powered by Gallant. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India, beating all its competition. NDTV stands for trust.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
Now a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting
हेलो गाइस एंड वेलकम बैक आफ्टर द ब्रेक टू योर फेवरेट शो, जहां मेरा नाम है गौरव और मैं लेके आता हूं आपके लिए हर बार एक नया एपिसोड गैजेट्स 360 विद टेक्निकल गुरुजी का, एंड हर बार आपके लिए नई नई टिप्स भी लेके आता हूं गाइस. टुडेज टिप इज वेरी यूजफुल, especially while you are trying to buy a used smartphone और आपको चेक करना है that how exactly the phone is, what is the condition. अब आप देख के तो जज कर लेंगे, but what about the internal components or maybe different sensors? Guys, all the phones they have a secret menu. आपको मैं एक बेसिक एग्जांपल देता हूँ. फॉर मोस्ट एंड्रॉयड फोन्स दिस माइट वर्क. इट इज *#0*#. आपके सामने एक अलग मेन्यू खुल जाएगा जहां से आप टेस्ट कर सकते हैं अपने फोन के अलग अलग पैरामीटर्स, एंड यू कैन बी श्योर दैट यस द फोन दैट यू आर बाइंग इज अ गुड डील. कोई आपको चूना नहीं लगा रहा है. तो जस्ट रिमेंबर दिस कोड एंड डिफरेंट अदर्स फॉर पर्टिकुलर मैन्युफैक्चरर्स. गूगल करेंगे, आपको सब मिल जाएंगे, और वहां से आप जब कुछ पुराना फोन लेंगे यू कैन मेक एन इन्फॉर्म्ड डिसीजन. फ्रेंड्स, अभी टाइम आ गया है ऑफ द ऑब्वियस फन सेक्शन. आपको पता है दिस इज कॉल्ड आस्क टीजी, एंड इन दिस सेक्शन आई आंसर ऑल योर क्वेश्चंस अराउंड गैजेट्स. इस बार देखते हैं हमारे पास में कौन से सवाल है, बिकॉज आई एम रेडी विद ऑल माई आंसर्स.
Hello sir, should I buy the Samsung Galaxy Ring or the Ultra Human Ring Air?
See, if you are in a Samsung ecosystem, definitely get the Samsung Galaxy Ring, but otherwise then it's completely your call. I would say the Ultra Human would be much more kind of widespread in terms of compatibility, but in terms of कि आपको एक बार ring लेना है, you don't need to pay for any subscription or whatever, then the Galaxy Ring, especially with the Samsung smartphone, and in fact even a Galaxy Watch works the best. They definitely hamper the camera clarity, and I would never recommend for anyone to use the camera lens protectors. You might want to use them कि नया फोन लिया है, कैमरा पे स्क्रैच ना आ जाए वगैरह वगैरह, but trust me, it will ruin your camera performance. See, basically it depends on the kind of usage you want to have. For example, अगर आपको on the go use करना है while you are at a picnic or partying, then Samsung's Freestyle is a great option. BenQ के पास में भी एक मॉडल आता है which is again a portable projector. अगर आपको एक proper cinema experience चाहिए, like while the projector is fixed at your roof or the wall behind you, in that case BenQ या फिर Epson के जो options हैं, you can look for that. But always look for a projector जहाँ पे जो आउटपुट क्वालिटी है वो काफी ज्यादा ब्राइट हो, बिकॉज यू नॉट वांट टू बी इन अ रूम जो कि एकदम डार्क है और तभी आप प्रोजेक्टर यूज कर पाए. यू वुड वांट टू यूज इट हल्का फुल्का लाइट्स के साथ में भी. सो इन दैट केस जस्ट लुक फॉर दैट आउटपुट ब्राइटनेस लेवल. आई वुड से एप्सन और BenQ दे आर गुड ब्रांड्स टू गो फॉर, बट हाँ, पोर्टेबल फन के लिए Samsung Freestyle इज रियली गुड. Unfortunately, my friend, in that price bracket, ज़्यादा आपके पास में ऑप्शंस नहीं है, एंड जो हैं उनमें आपको इतनी अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस नहीं मिलेगी. यू वुड वांट टू स्ट्रेच योर बजट थोड़ा सा ऊपर, बिकॉज ROG Li X फॉर एग्जाम्पल इज अ ग्रेट डिवाइस पर थोड़ा महंगा आता है. इफ़ यू वांट टू गेट द ROG Li आप ले सकते हो, बट देन उसमें आपको इतनी अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस नहीं मिलेगी. सो 50,000 रुपीज़ में इफ़ यू वांट सम ऑन द गो गेमिंग पोर्टेबल हैंडल कंसोल, आई वुड से थोड़ा सा बजट बढ़ाएंगे तो ज़्यादा मज़ा आएगा, स्पेशली विद द ROG Li X.
हेलो गौरव, क्या मुझे Samsung S24 Ultra लेना चाहिए या Samsung S25 Ultra के लिए वेट करना चाहिए?
See, S25 Ultra, the entire series basically is going to launch in the month of January next year. तो ज़्यादा टाइम बचा नहीं है. Now, if you are getting a great deal on S24 Ultra, please go get it. But if you are still paying like roughly the price जिस पे वो launch हुआ था, तो I would say better wait for couple more months, because जब S25 Ultra आएगा roughly similar price पे आएगा, and definitely you would get a newer smartphone with some more features. So guys, that's all from my side in this week's episode of your favorite gadget show. It's Gadgets 360 with Technical Guruji. और मैं गौरव जब भी ये शो आपके लेके आता हूँ ना, always feel excited because we breathe gadgets, we dream gadgets, we live by all these gadgets. And अगर आपका भी कुछ ऐसा ही मानना है तो let me know by writing whatever you have. कोई क्वेश्चन है, कोई फीडबैक है, कुछ और अगर आपको लिखना है, you know the address. It's tg@ndtv.com. I'm gonna see you next week with some more gadgets, some more fun. Same time, same place. Till then, have a good day.
New day, new show, a new experience. Start your day with the news, not views. We bring you stories that matter and impact your lives. News that informs and keeps you ahead.
From Maximum City, Mumbai,
To the state of governance, Delhi, NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here. It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
the energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai. India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland. The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
72 hours ahead of oath-taking in Maharashtra, Maha jostling for power. Eknath Shinde pitches his case, saying he held a historic government. The poll panel cracks the whip on misinformation linked to EVMs. EC says spreading false claims will lead to prosecution. This after a fake video showing EVM tampering surfaced in Mumbai. The cops there have filed an FIR. Close shave for Indigo flyers at the Chennai airport. Video emerges from the airport. The video is dated to yesterday, where a plane is seen swerving post-touchdown amid strong winds. Big announcement by the Aam Aadmi Party chief. No Congress and Aam Aadmi Party alliance in Delhi. Arvind Kejriwal says AAP will go solo in Delhi elections. RSS chief flags concerns over declining population, says need fertility rate at 2.1 for society to survive. And Jai Shah officially takes over the ICC chairman post, aims to grow women's game, and Jai Shah also aims to expand global reach. Our top story from Maharashtra, and amid the Maha-political potboiler, a short while back, a briefing which was held by caretaker Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, where he pitched his case hard. Remember that while the BJP has gone ahead and announced that there's going to be the oath-taking ceremony where the new Maharashtra cabinet will be sworn in on December 5th, but there is still a cloud over who's exactly getting which portfolio. So, in the briefing that Eknath Shinde held a short while back in Satara, he said that he ran a historic government and there were developmental milestones which are part of his achievement during his tenure as the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Listen in to what Eknath Shinde had to say.
आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, आदरणीय गृह मंत्री अमित भाई और भारतीय
गृह मंत्रालय को लेकर के कोई मांग है क्या आप लोगों की?
भारतीय जनता पक्ष के अध्यक्ष नड्डा जी जो मुख्यमंत्री पद के बारे में तय करेंगे उसको मेरा पूरा समर्थन मैंने ऑलरेडी दे दिया। क्या उनकी कल मीटिंग है ना विधानमंडल पक्ष की, उनकी मीटिंग है, उसमें तय हो जाएगा। इतने बड़े 2.5 साल के अंदर इतने बड़े पैमाने पे डेवलपमेंट और इतने बड़े पैमाने पर वेलफेयर स्कीम जो कल्याणकारी योजना कभी की थी, ये देखो मैं इतना ही कहूँगा, इतनी योजनाएं 2.5 साल में करने वाली ये ऐतिहासिक सरकार है।
And I'm joined by my colleague Anuj, who's been tracking the story. Anuj, it's very interesting. Eknath Shinde is going to head back to Mumbai today. He was, of course, taking this press conference in Satara, which is his hometown. But while he has stepped aside as far as the Chief Minister post is concerned, saying that he's okay with whatever decision is taken by the BJP, but clearly there's a lot of shadow boxing going on behind the screens in a way where Shiv Sena is in fact hoping to get plum portfolios like the Home Ministry, the State Home Ministry, which was earlier with Devendra Fadnavis when he held the Deputy CM post in Maharashtra. So what are we hearing in terms of the kind of negotiations which are taking place from Shiv Sena's side?
You know, when we look at this entire incident chronologically, it becomes very interesting because when Eknath Shinde took the press conference, it became very, he basically tried to pull his name out of the contention and, you know, make things a little easier for Mahayuti. But that claim by him wasn't really very consistent with his actions later on, be it what happened in Delhi, the pictures of which everyone saw, and then of course his surprise of sorts visit to Satara. Of course, there have been reasoning given by both Shiv Sena leaders and Eknath Shinde himself to say that this is just a coincidence that he happened to go to Satara because he fell sick. But as you said, there's surely a lot of shadow boxing happening in the background, and that's simply because Shiv Sena has been very adamant about asking for at least 2 major portfolios, Home Ministry and Finance Ministry. While Home Ministry is something that the BJP has never let go of since 2014 till today, whenever they've been in the government, Finance Department is something that Ajit Pawar has been handling ever since the Mahayuti came into being in 2022. Now, another important pointer from this press conference is that although Eknath Shinde did not really accept the fact that that there have been demands for Home Ministry or for any other portfolios been made officially with the other two partners in Mahayuti, he never denied it as well. And that sheds light on how there's a possibility for discussions to become very interesting tomorrow when all the three leaders sit down to meet. Besides that, we also saw a question being asked about the possibility of MP Dr. Shrikant Shinde accepting the position of Deputy Chief Ministership here in the state. And even while answering to that, Eknath Shinde tried to be very diplomatic and said that the decision on it will finally be taken when all the three leaders from the Mahayuti sit down. So he's left us with more questions than answers, and the meeting, which is expected to take place tomorrow, because his visit, he's still expected to rest even today, so the meeting will in all likeliness take place tomorrow. That is when the portfolio clarification will be made, and that is when several of these questions regarding Deputy Chief Ministership and Home Ministry will become clear.
Right. Very interesting developments there in Maharashtra. Remember, the oath-taking ceremony is, of course, scheduled for December 5th. Anuj, thank you so much for joining us with that. Shifting focus now to the capital, where Naresh Balyan, the Aam Aadmi Party MLA, has in fact been produced in court in an extortion case. In fact, the police have alleged that Naresh Balyan had connections with a wanted gangster, and pointing at a particular audio clip which has surfaced. I believe that the court has reserved its order, but for more on this, on what happened in court, I'm joined by my colleague Tanushka. Tanushka, take us through the arguments from both sides. What happened in court today?
Right, Tanima. So, of course, the order has been reserved at the moment at the Rouse Avenue court, but Delhi police had essentially asked for 5 days of police custody of Naresh Balyan, Aam Aadmi Party MLA, who was arrested last night. And what the public prosecutor argued that they need this police custody for seizing of instruments and for further investigation as well onto those others involved, and especially into the identification and investigating into the audio clip on the basis of which they have made their arrest. However, the counsel for Balyan argued that the case was registered in 2023 and the audio clip was also circulated back in 2023. So, the arrest as of now in 2024 has no grounds. The counsel essentially argues that this is a political arrest and the grounds of arrest were communicated verbally, and it cannot be, as per law, it cannot be oral communication. It has to be in written and it has to be forthwith. So, based on these arguments that came on from both the sides, especially the counsel for Balyan said that the timing of this arrest is crucial, that for 17 months this clip has been in the public domain, and he raises the question that why didn't this arrest happen earlier? So, therefore suggesting that this arrest right now is political and the grounds for arrest are not substantive.
Right. Tanushka Datta there reporting from Delhi. Thank you so much for joining us. Meanwhile, of course, as expected, there's politics over this particular case. Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal, in a briefing earlier today, in fact, asked the BJP, remember, it is the MHA which controls the Delhi police. Kejriwal said that why exactly is his MLA being harassed if the Delhi police can? Why aren't they arresting the gangsters? BJP, meanwhile, of course, has said that it is the Aam Aadmi Party which is giving space to criminals. Listen in.
मुझ पे हमला करवा दिया गया। मैं पदयात्रा में जा रहा था, मेरे ऊपर एक लिक्विड फेंका गया। वो लिक्विड हार्मलेस था, लेकिन वो हार्मफुल भी हो सकता था। एमएलए नरेश बाल्यान कपिल सांगवान उर्फ नंदू का विक्टिम है। वहां से उनको इस तरह की कई धमकियां आई और उन्होंने ये, मैंने एक ही चिट्ठी पढ़ी है, उन्होंने कई चिट्ठियां दिल्ली पुलिस को लिखी कि इसके ऊपर कार्रवाई की जाए, मुझे लगातार धमकियां आ रही हैं। उस पे कार्रवाई करने की बजाय कल दिल्ली पुलिस ने नरेश बाल्यान को गिरफ्तार कर लिया। कल मेरे ऊपर हमला कराया गया। हमारा कसूर क्या था? हमारा कसूर था कि हम लोग दिल्ली की बिगड़ती हुई कानून व्यवस्था की बात उठा रहे थे।
We are being joined by Delhi BJP President Mr. Virendra Sachdeva. सर, आज आम आदमी पार्टी ने एक कॉन्फ्रेंस किया था जिसमें अरविंद केजरीवाल ने कहा है कि दिल्ली में किसी भी तरीके का जो गठबंधन है वो नहीं होगा। क्या कुछ प्रतिक्रिया देंगे आप इस पर?
अब ये निर्णय अरविंद केजरीवाल और कांग्रेस को करना था। लोकसभा चुनाव में दोनों भ्रष्ट पार्टियों का गठबंधन था और ये दोनों एक ही सिक्के के दो पहलू हैं। अब उनके अलग होने की क्या वजह है वो तो अरविंद केजरीवाल या कांग्रेस बता पाएगी, लेकिन यूं ही कोई बेवफा नहीं होता। कुछ तो वजह रही होंगी, हो सकता है वसूली का कुछ हिस्सा इधर उधर रह गया हो।
इसके अलावा अलावा सर ये भी कहा है उन्होंने कि जब भी लॉ इन्फोर्समेंट की बात वो लोग करते हैं और जब इस मुद्दे को उठाते हैं तो उनको डराने धमकाने के लिए उनके ही एमएलए को गिरफ्तार कर लिया जाता है।
मैं फिर कह रहा हूँ, अरविंद केजरीवाल, उन ऑडियो को ध्यान से सुनो। ये 6 महीने 1 साल की आवाज़ें नहीं है, ये 4-5 साल का धंधा था। और अरविंद केजरीवाल की सरकार भ्रष्टाचारी सरकार के साथ साथ वसूली सरकार है, रंगदारी की सरकार है। और अगर उसके बावजूद भी वो उसको बचाने के प्रयास कर रहे हैं तो आप समझ लीजिए कि इसकी जड़ें कितनी गहरी हैं।
Staying with news from Delhi, and Aam Aadmi Party convener Arvind Kejriwal has ruled out the possibility of any sort of alliance between his party and the Congress for the upcoming Delhi Assembly elections due next year. Now, the AAP and the Congress are part of the opposition India bloc, but remember that they had also contested separately in the Lok Sabha elections earlier this year. Meanwhile, the BJP has said it will carry out a Parivartan Padyatra in Delhi.
सर, विधानसभा चुनाव की अब सुगबुगाहट शुरू हो गई है, गठबंधन की लगातार बातें चल रही हैं, तो क्या दिल्ली में कोई गठबंधन नहीं होगा?
बीजेपी की तरफ से परिवर्तन यात्रा निकाली जाने वाली है, क्या कुछ नया देखने को मिलेगा इस बार?
परिवर्तन होगा, भ्रष्टाचारी सरकार का परिवर्तन होगा, इन अपराधियों का परिवर्तन होगा और दिल्ली में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री के नेतृत्व में डबल इंजन की सरकार बनेगी।
Shifting focus now, and Narendra Manohar, Andhra Pradesh Minister for Civil Supplies, has hit out at the previous YSRCP government in the state, blaming them for the alleged rice mafia, the rise of the alleged rice mafia in the state. The minister said that it was the YSRCP government which removed fair price shops, which in turn triggered pilferage in the public distribution system and encouraged the rise of this mafia.
Last 3 years from Kakinada port, especially after Kakinada seaports had given up 41% of its share to Aurobindo Realty. How much rice export has happened from Kakinada is almost 48,000 crores of rice was exported out of Kakinada port. The reason behind it is they had established a network all around the state, an existing system where fair price shops were managing the ration distribution were cut short, and in its place